Okay, here I am. A couple minutes late, but I am here, ready for stream number 2 for the Lego Ideas A-frame cabin. I didn't touch anything from last night when I stopped. I was on bag 5. I'm going to finish that out and continue on and see how far I get. So that is where we are at. We are going to do a Lego build, and hopefully everybody who was watching saw all the detail because it's starting to get covered up unless you're looking real close. But hello, Horror Junkie for Life in the chat. Connie Clary. Black Roses, what's going on? Andrea Black. Harry was in here earlier. It's going to be a great evening. Hi, Boy Donuts to you. Let me get the chat up here real quick so I can see it. And then we will start building. So here we go. Let me get the chat. Hopefully everybody's having a good day today. I am going to play some Jeff Reagan, some more Jeff Reagan. None that were in last night's stream. Going to play some more though. The ones with Frank Graham. Sorry, Harry. I know we all love Jack Webb, but Frank Graham did a good job too. So going to be playing some Jeff Reagan with that. Chris W, hello, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. JLR, hello everyone in Dino. Did you hear about the Jaws Lego coming next month? Yes, I did. They're coming out with a Jaws Lego set. It's basically, I should have had a picture ready, but it's got the ship. It's kind of like a display piece where it's all like kind of a flat surface where the water is, and you got the ship, the boat, not a ship. Would you call it it's a boat. It's a boat. And Jaws on the side of it. I think that's what I'm going to pick up, JLR, for sure. The Jaws. I'm a horror fan, and Jaws is a great movie. Although, is it really a horror film? No, it's a horror film. J.O.B. What is going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I got a lot done with the cabin yesterday during my stream. This is 5 bags. Hopefully you guys saw all the inner workings. I'm working on getting another camera that will get the angle real close up to the surface here from the side. Hi, Boy Donuts, Harry Scott. Good to see you. What's going on? I'm going to play some Jeff Reagan as I'm building this today. Not the ones in the stream last night, but and not Jack Webb. They're going to be the Frank Graham ones, which those are really good episodes, but nobody beats Jack Webb. But the Jeff Reagan I'm going to play today is going to be Frank Graham. So we've got 3 hours. We're going to see how much we can build. I've got on the table bags 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's see how far I get with that. And of course, you get, for anybody who didn't see, you get the canoe. I put the 2 figures together from the bag. So you get the canoe, and there's going to be a little island here with a tree. But the build so far, other than this part of it, the brick wall here, that threw me off because of one little piece, and yeah, it kind of threw me off. But yeah, everything's coming along. I like the windows, the door. I love the log and the boiler in there. My favorite part is the one side. This must be a hippie's cabin, because on that one side, which I'm not sure if I can get close enough through the view now here. See the guitar there with the record player and the albums? Kind of a hippie there, going back to the 70s. It's got a record player and album case with the guitar. I think that's really, really cool. But yeah, this is what I'm going to do. J.O.B. These builds remind me of Zoolander movie. What is this? A center for ants? How can we be expected to teach children to learn how to read if they can't even fit inside the building? LOL. Funny. I saw Zoolander when it first came out, but that's with Ben Stiller. But I haven't seen it since, and I don't remember the lines. So, but yeah, we're gonna get started here. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Hit the thumbs up, description. Please comment after the stream if you would. I am going to go up until I just listed for overnight tonight CBS Radio Mystery Theater Mix. So got a good mix of shows there lined up. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. And yeah, I guess let's just start building. This is going to go on the one corner of this, my Lego city, where I'm going to surround it with more trees, water, where the boat can go on, the little lake that I'm going to build there. And yes, I'm a kid, you know, that's what I am. And there's another cabin that Fantasy has made that it's more of a barn style that I'm going to build. Not next. I think next I want to finish the Orient Express whenever those pieces come in. And then put the train and start working on the train, then another building. And I think I might work on either the town hall or the bank. The bank is pretty cool looking. It's a lot of people's favorites. So, woohoo for hippie cabins. Where there are hippie cabins, there are trippy memories. Yes, yes, yes. Hippies. I mean, it's what it reminds me of. It is old school cabin inside, so it's kind of pretty cool. But I do go silent as I start building and play some shows. So we got some detective shows here, as usual. I am going to play some Jeff Reagan. Again, Frank Graham will be playing the part. First one I will be doing is Man in Church. In the Church, Man in the Church, from 1949. So here we go. Enjoy Jeff Reagan as I get as far into this as I can. I want to get this done so I can move on to the next one. So, and listen, around Halloween we've got a haunted house. Around Christmas I've got that Home Alone house, which is going to be really cool, and it's a big set. So that's going to be fun. I've got some rocket ships. I got a space shuttle. So there's lots of things to build soon. So, and much love to each and every one of you. I'm so glad you guys are all here and hanging out in the afternoon while I build some Legos and work on my stuff. So here we go. Jeff Reagan, Man in the Church. Here we go.
My name's Reagan. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, International Detective Bureau. They call me the Lion's Eye.
Jeff Reagan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Reagan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery and suspense and adventure in tonight's story of The Man in the Church.
You'll find the Cosmopolitan building on 7th Street near Olive. A pile of white granite holding up a brass clock that hasn't kept time since 1932. That's the year Anthony J. Lyon, the guy I work for, took out a 30-year lease on Suite 308. You can't miss it. Right after you get off the elevator, the International Detective Bureau. Good bargain counter if you want to buy your trouble wholesale. Right after the SC game last Saturday, I walked in. The Lion was at his desk. He had a sparkle in one eye and a jeweler's glass in the other. And even though he tried to cover up, I could tell he was looking at a $50 bill.
You, Regan. I was just noticing the engraving on this bill. Intricate, fascinating, work of art, really.
Grant took a good picture.
Yeah, didn't he, though? Ulysses Simpson Grant was one of our greatest presidents, Regan.
So you're starting a collection?
I've already started one. This is my first showing.
All right. Who's the new client?
Client? I didn't get this from a client, really. Rather an old friend. Just a little errand. Yes, I called you in because I want you to do a favor for a friend.
Last time we did a favor for a friend, he turned out to have a record as long as a rolled-up kite string.
Oh, Pencole's not like that. Not at all.
Pencole?
Yes, Charles Pencole, my friend. He wants a bonded, licensed operator at his place at 6 o'clock tonight. Capitol Hotel on Aliso Street.
And just what does Charles Pencole, Capitol Hotel, Aliso Street, want this bonded, licensed operator to do at 6 o'clock?
Now, see here, Jeffrey, there's no need to take that attitude. All Penco wants is someone to deliver a cash amount of $5,000.
You took another job without asking any questions, didn't you?
What do you mean, ask questions?
When a man who lives in a two-bit hotel on Aliso Street needs a licensed operator to deliver $5,000, there's questions to be asked.
Well, I ask questions.
Well, then give me some answers.
All right. So I lied to you a little about his being an old friend. He isn't that really, but the man asked for help. I couldn't turn him down. He touched me in some way, Jeffrey. Here. There was a look about him.
He pulled on my heartstrings.
So,
A $50 look.
I tell you, Mr. Penco was a distressed soul when he came in to see me. If you could have seen him so disturbed, so helpless. It was our opportunity to help a brother in distress. Charles Penco is our brother, Reagan.
Come on, answers. Start talking.
All right. I'll tell you what I can. Penco has a problem, but it's in strictest confidence. I told him I'd give him our best operator, you, Jeffrey, but I had to swear I wouldn't divulge details even to you. But I promise it's nothing illegal, just a simple little job. My word, Jeffrey.
If you're lying to me again.
I'm not. Go see this man, Jeffrey. Take one look at him. You'll see I'm telling the truth. Now, I told him you'd be there. The reputation of the agency's at stake.
You took his $50.
Yes, I took his 50.
And we're on the hook.
Yes, we're on the hook.
Okay, Fatso, I'll see him. Just see him. But you stay right here.
Stay here? Why?
Because if this ball has a curve on it, I'm coming back here to ram that $50 right down your throat. Well, the lion had put on a good act, and I went for it again. Maybe it was because I figured he lied so much he'd accidentally have to tell the truth once in a while. Or maybe it was because he looked different when he was describing Charlie Penco. Anyhow, it was dark on Aliso Street, and it was trying to rain when I found a white blister over the sidewalk that blinked out Capitol Hotel, rooms $1 and up. I walked through a lobby that smelled like last year's laundry. Nobody was behind the desk, but I spun the register around and picked up a Charles A. Penco in room H. It was upstairs, in between a broom closet and a fire escape. But I didn't have to knock. A tall, big-boned man with a lot of gray hair had the shorter one by the lapels.
This ain't right. You shouldn't do things this way. You've been out of touch.
Yeah, Johnny, I've been out of touch, but I know how to handle a punk like you. Now listen to me. Get in my way once again, and I'll break you in half.
Look, I'm warning you, kid.
Shut
All right, big shut up.
Don't try a gun, you
Drop
crazy
the heater,
ball.
Buster. I said drop it.
Got a lot of friends, Charlie. They always show up just in time. I remember you too, mister. I remember you
Get
too.
out of here. Go on, get out.
I remember this. I remember all of this.
You're a pretty good soldier. What's your name?
Reagan.
Oh, you some thanks. Thanks, Reagan. Might have used that thing, you know.
We try to keep our clients alive until we've earned our fees.
Clients?
I'm from International.
Oh.
And if you're Charlie Penco, you're a client until $50 is used up.
Oh, yeah, sure. Come on in, Reagan. Here, make yourself at home. Isn't much. Wire bed and the neon sign outside. I've had better, Reagan.
Yeah.
Hey, you want a drink?
Why not?
Probably got a lot of questions to ask, Reagan. I'll answer them fast. Yeah, here you are.
Thanks. Suppose you start with the punk.
Johnny Largo?
Mm-hmm.
Look, he hasn't got anything to do with you and me. He's a separate feud.
Sure. He's used that 38 before.
You know him?
I've seen him in the mug files.
Well, I can handle him. I want you to handle something else. What's the look for?
I've seen that kind of suit before. Did $10 come with it?
Yeah. Just got out of San Quentin. Did 18 years. It's over. Time served.
It shows.
Hey, you don't do that much vacation standing on your rear, Regan. It's hard to get any exercise in a 10-by-8 room. And the nights, too, they're always a couple of million years long. You got somebody to worry about.
Somebody like Largo?
No, I tell you, he's nothing. On 29, he was a truck driver who had big ideas. He's still got them, but he's got nothing to back them up with.
All right. You got somebody else to worry about?
Yeah. Guy's name is Sidney Chambers. Owe him some money.
You sure you want a detective?
I can pay Chambers, but I can't see him. I'm going to be busy. You're bonded. I can trust you to carry the money.
Messenger boys are bonded,
It's
too.
a simple job, Regan. That's why I'd only pay the lion $50 to have it done. There you are. 5,000 right there. Go ahead, count it.
I'll take your word. Where do I find your man?
Sidney Chambers will be at the planetarium in front of the entrance. He'll be in a black suit wearing a white carnation in the briefcase.
And just like that, I walk up and hand him $5,000.
Just like that?
How do you know I won't feel like taking a trip?
Yeah, J.O.B. Everything is small. I'm just saying.
I don't. But then I still haven't got anything to worry about.
You got that much money?
No, Reagan, I got me. And Charlie Penco never let anybody put anything over on him.
What about the state of California?
It was a bum rap.
Oh, sure it was. Good night. I left him sitting there. He looked as happy as a Ubangi with a fever blister. Maybe the lion was telling the truth. So I put the $5,000 in my pocket, but it felt hot, like a dynamite stick with a short fuse. It was 10 minutes to 8 when I parked in front of the planetarium. A little guy in a black suit was standing at the entrance looking at his watch. I was afraid he was going to get trampled, but the briefcase and white carnation saved him.
Doors will be closed at 8 o'clock. All those wishing to listen to tonight's lecture in the amphitheater.
Going to the lecture? It's all about a trip to the moon tonight.
Oh, is it? Well, I don't think I'll go in. I'm expecting a friend.
Friend named Charlie Penco?
What?
Penco. You going to meet him here?
Yes, but you can't be Penco. You're much too young.
That's right, I'm not Penco.
I don't understand, Mr.
Reagan.
Oh. Mr. Penco promised me faithfully he'd meet me here tonight.
You had parents, didn't you? Name?
No. I'm Sidney Chambers, but
You got the briefcase to collect some money in?
Did you bring it? Did you really bring it?
How much expecting?
Why, $5,000 and not a penny less.
All right. There you are.
Well, say now. Say
It's
now.
all there.
It certainly is. It certainly is. It most certainly is. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Reagan.
If I hadn't seen him pat his bulged pocket, I'd have gone on home and played canasta with my landlady. But when I saw him drive away, I began to get a slow feeling. Like all my troubles were already started. So I crawled in my car and followed him. I was still following when he pulled up in Palos Verdes and parked in front of a little house stuck up on a hill all by itself. I had that same feeling when I cut my engine, coasted to a stop, and sat there thinking about nothing. I watched the light go on somewhere in the back of the house. I was just putting my cigarette out when the place lit up like a cop.
Yeah, stop. I'll start it back up in a second. And I'm eating the candy. That's a good question, J.O.B. What horror movie scene would I like to see made out of Legos? Man, there's plenty of scenes in hell. I would love a Hellraiser Lego set. I mean, where he's turning into, not even a Pinhead, but where he's coming out of the floor and you see all the skin like an anatomy. I know that's kind of gross, but even the sleepaway camp, the shocking scene at the end. Anyways, and then there's Friday. There's plenty. I'd have to think really long and hard about that. Which horror movie actually? Legos is something innocent, so I would probably have to go to an older movie. How about something with like Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein? Maybe when they're on the stairs and they're running away from Frankie and Drac and and he's carrying the thing. Yeah, so maybe something like that, something simple. I'd even like a Legos with Bob Hope, the Ghost Breakers or something like that. But see, I'm different than most. I'd love a bunch of sets, J.O.B. But anyways, back to the show.
I pulled my gun and started for the door, but I wasn't fast enough to stop that black hoop that was in the alley. I found Chambers wrapped around the dining room.
I know I keep interrupting the show, but yeah, the shower scene. I mean, that's perfect, Harry. I wonder how a nude woman or semi-nude woman behind the shower curtain would look Lego form. I'm curious, but...
Table. He was holding on to that briefcase, and the $5,000 was still there. But he'd never get a chance to spend it. 'He was all used up. You better have something good to say, Fatso.
Regan, where you been? I've been looking all over.
You know where I've been.
I called the Capitol Hotel, but no one answered. Listen, Regan, I don't want you to take this job.
I took it 3 hours ago, and now I need those answers.
Answers?
You told me Pencold had filled you in on the background of this thing. Well, it's time you shared secrets with me.
Regan, I can't tell you anything.
You'd better.
But I didn't get anything from him, Regan. I made up that stuff about a personal problem just to get you to take the job.
All for $50?
There's no time for that now.
You said it.
After you left, I got worried, so I looked up Pencold. He's really good-time Charlie Pencold, an old-time racketeer.
And he just got out of San Quentin. And somebody's already dead.
What?
Now get this. I'm calling you from a house in Palos Verdes. It belongs to a little guy named Sidney Chambers. I made the delivery and decided to follow him home. Just as I got here, somebody blew his fuse.
What happened to the 5,000? The killer steal it?
It's still here.
Still there. Good.
I thought that'd get action.
Now, hold on to it. International will keep it safely until the police go ahead. Regan. Regan. Hello, are you still there?
I was still there, but I wasn't listening to the lion. I was looking at the traffic cop standing in the doorway. He was looking at what was left of Chambers, at the money spread all around, and then at me. I began to feel helpless, like a fiddler without a chin.
I'll take your gun. Go ahead, finish your call. I won't listen.
It isn't important.
Dead, huh? You, got anything to say, mister? Uh-huh. Nice gun. Yours?
Yeah, it's my gun, but I...
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Just been fired.
Those bullets won't match up with the ones in him. You got this all wrong.
Wrong? Money, too. Well. Weapon, motive. I'll be in plain clothes this time tomorrow.
Look, the guy who did it's making time right now.
You'll be surprised the kind of drivers we have around Los Angeles. I'm working Palos Verdes. I stop a minute, I hear noises like guns. And I just cruise around on my bike where I think I hear the noise. And I find you. All right, killer, move. My turn to make a call.
I leaned into his gun, spun around, and knocked his wrist down. The bullets went wild, and I hit the light switch.
Come back here, come back.
That gave me time enough to get through the door. He lost me when I ran up the hill and back of the house toward the oil derricks. But I knew he'd keep right on looking. And so would every cop in Los Angeles. I had as much chance as a snowball in a Turkish bath. None of it made sense. I delivered Penco's $5,000 to a little guy named Sidney Chambers. And before I knew it, a question mark in a black coupe blew out Chambers' life. But he left that $5,000 scattered all over the place. And an eager cop who likes double-breasted suits tagged me for the job. When I broke away from that cop, I knew I'd have to get some answers. I made my way back downtown and dropped into the Capitol Hotel. Any key fitted room H. It was as clean as a bookie's stall when a long shot comes in. No Charlie Pencold, nothing. The newspaper clipping on the dresser with an ad on how to handle your muscles on one side and part of a society column on the other meant nothing. But the knock on the door had possibilities.
Oh. Charles, are you in there? Are you asleep? Charles,
She was a tall, gray-haired woman in a fur coat. She didn't look like Pencold's kind of company.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought this was Mr. Pencold's room.
He's left town. Maybe I can be of help.
No, I'm sure you can't. I just made a mistake, that's all. I'm sorry I bothered you. I'm terribly sorry. Please forgive me.
Well, just a minute.
Relax. You can see her later.
How cool is the typewriter?
Come on in, boys. Come in. I wanted Charlie, but you'll do for now.
You got a parade permit, Largo?
I don't need one. This is going to be a quiet little party. You and me and my friends this time.
Don't they talk?
Sure they talk. Boys, there's a friend of Charlie Penco.
Hello. Hi.
You see? All right, friend of Charlie Penco's. We had all the introductions. Now let's have a party. You took my gun away tonight. I told you I'd remember you. This is going to be fun. Hold on. Now, here we go with feeling.
Boy, he's getting heavy.
Nah, don't let him fall, Sam. We're just getting a good start.
Well, it was almost morning when I started to come around. I was still in room H. Some cold water and a trip to the drugstore didn't make me feel any better, but I had some answers to find. The morning papers were full of the brutal murder of city employee Sidney Chambers. They'd run on to tell how he worked in the Hall of Records. My name was in the article. They'd matched the bullets, and my gun didn't figure. But Homicide had wanted some answers, and I didn't have any to give them. I started with that clipping I'd found in Penco's room. It wasn't much, but it had names. Something about a Meredith Gibbons and a Donald Townsend getting married. There was an address in the phone book, Sherman Oaks. Nice house on a nice street.
Good morning, darling. I didn't expect you so... Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were Donald.
My name's Reagan. I'd like to see Meredith Gibbons.
Why, I'm Meredith Gibbons. Oh, please come in, Mr. Regan.
Thanks.
I'll have to apologize for the appearance of the house. I'm packing and all. I'm being married this afternoon.
Yeah, I've read about that.
Oh. Mr. Regan, I'll have to apologize again. I don't believe I know you.
No, you don't. Look, I won't take a lot of your time. I'm a private investigator. I'd like to ask some questions.
Private investigator? Well, certainly, Mr. Regan, but I don't know...
Hey, darling, I'd like to...
Oh, Donald, you're here.
Oh, morning, sweet.
Donald, this is Mr. Regan. He's a private detective. He wants to ask me some questions.
Oh? Well, glad to meet you, Regan. What's this all about?
Probably nothing. Just a lead. Look, do you people know a man named Penco?
Penco?
Oh, no,
I think it's important. His name's Charles Penco.
No, Mr. Regan, I don't.
I'm sorry. Neither do I.
All right. Does the name Sidney Chambers mean anything to you?
No, sorry again, Regan. Nothing again. I can't think so well. I'm marrying her today.
Oh, Donald. No, Mr. Regan, I've never heard that name before. You're looking for these men?
One of them's dead.
Oh? Which one?
Chambers. He was shot last night.
Small lamp next to the typewriter.
Well, sure wish we could help you more, but... tell me, Regan, why did you come here?
I found this clipping about your marriage in Penco's room.
That's funny. Truly, Mr. Regan, I never heard the name before.
Donald, you have so many things to do today.
Oh, Mother, I want you to meet Mr. Regan. He's a detective. This is my mother.
How do you do, Mr. Regan?
It was the same gray-haired woman I'd met the night before in Charlie's room. Had to hand it to her. She didn't raise an eyelash. She looked right through me like she was meeting me for the first time. I didn't give her away. There was something in her eyes that said, don't.
Mr. Regan, I know you'll excuse us. We have so many things to do. Well, perhaps Mother can help you.
Sure.
Bye, Regan.
I hope you find your man, Mr. Regan.
They look like a real nice pair, Mrs. Gibbons.
They're wonderful children, Mr. Regan. Wonderful.
You know what I have to ask you.
Yes, I know.
Man's been killed.
Sit down, Mr. Regan, please.
Thanks.
That lovely girl...
They give me a lot of
walked out
extra
the door
cups
is
and stuff.
Charles Penco's daughter.
Oh.
Yes. Charles married my younger sister in 1929. She never knew what Charles did for a living. She was in the hospital, Mr. Regan, dying while Charles was in court. And when his sentence was pronounced, his daughter was born at a hospital in Glendale.
That'd be Meredith.
Yes.
Go on.
Before Charles began his life sentence, he took what money he had left and established an irrevocable trust fund for her and for me. It was his plan. I adopted her legally. He promised that he'd never write or bother in any way, and he hasn't. Oh, after so much heartache for a real mother, he was trying to do one decent thing.
It worked out?
Oh, yes. Yes, he kept his word. He was paroled last week. I read it in the papers.
And you went to see him at his hotel. I met you there.
Yes. Yes, I went to see him last night. The parole officer gave me his address. A little man had been here last week on some pretext or another, and I was worried. I thought he was a friend of Charles who might want to make trouble.
Nobody else knows about this adoption?
No one, Mr. Regan. No one at all. Just Charles and I. My sister, well, she had the baby under my name.
I see.
I read the morning papers. The little man, the one who'd called on me last week and acted strangely, was murdered last night. His name was Chambers. I read about it in the paper.
Yeah, that's right.
And the police are looking for you, Mr. Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please, I can't ask you to continue being a fugitive. I know you didn't kill him, but if there's any way at all, Mr. Reagan. Oh, listen to me. Meredith can't become involved in something like this.
If there's any way to keep her out of it, Mrs. Gibbons, I'll do it.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Reagan. Thank you.
When I left there, I had a pretty good picture of the whole thing. A check with the Civil Service Commission did the rest as far as Chambers' part fitted in. Besides working at the Hall of Records from 1932 on, he'd worked at the city morgue before. And before that, the county hospital as an orderly. And before that, a private hospital in Glendale. But that still left Johnny Largo on stage. The Lion had part of it when I found him at the office.
Regan.
Who'd you expect?
Never mind. Anybody see you? You're a hot boy.
You know how I got that way.
I know, but those things will happen. Where's that $5,000?
A cop on the Palos Verdes division is looking at it.
Huh?
Don't you read the papers? They're looking for me. They want to talk to me about a murder.
Oh, and I wanted to see how that much money looked all at once.
What have you been telling Homicide?
That I don't know anything about it.
Well, maybe I better make a call.
Now, look, Jeffrey. We've got to find out who tagged Chambers. It's the only way we can square ourselves with Homicide.
You afraid of that jailhouse coffee?
Oh, please. I had another one of my attacks today. Knowing you were out there somewhere in this vast city, hunted, because of my indiscreetness. Jeffrey, I've done you wrong.
You're going to drown in those tears.
Oh, now, please, find out who killed that poor man Chambers. Square yourself with the police. Make a clean breast of everything.
Well, then you start giving me more answers.
I'll help you in every way I can, Jeffrey.
All right, where does Johnny Largo tie in with Charlie Pencore?
Largo? Oh, it's an old-time feud. I went through the 1929 morgue files. Largo tried to kill Pencoe over some money or something. He claimed Pencoe held out on him.
Nothing else?
Nothing else. Why? You got a lead?
What does Largo do now?
He runs a joint in Gardena that fronts for a roulette wheel. Hey, where you going?
To try my luck.
By the way, what happened to your face?
It got stepped on.
Somebody had big feet.
Yeah, 6 of them. Bye. I knew I was coming into the home stretch. I made Largo's place about 3 o'clock that afternoon, but I was too late. 3 squad cars were piled up in front, and the morgue wagon was there. I checked with the driver, looked inside, and saw that their customer was Largo. He was extremely dead. It was easy to see Pencoe was making the rounds. First, Chambers. Second, Largo. He figured to have one more stop, and I found it. That black coupe was in front of St. Anne's Church in Sherman Oaks. Inside, Meredith Gibbons and Townsend were kneeling at the altar. There were a lot of people watching. But the one I was interested in was the guy in the dark suit. He was standing in the back.
Hello, Regan.
I came to get you, Charlie.
Yeah, I figured you would.
They don't like murder in this state, no matter what it's for.
And the state doesn't know Chambers was trying to buy that kid up there out of her life.
So to keep your daughter from knowing who her old man was, you hired me. So you could get a line on Chambers, follow him, kill him.
He was just a name on a phone to me. You had to tag him for me. It's the only way to treat him. Somehow he knew she was my kid. He had all the facts for blackmail. He waited 18 years to trap me.
Largo was just a sideline.
He was until he found out I'd killed Chambers. You see, he was following me that night in Palos Verdes.
So you traded one blackmail for another.
Yeah.
And no way out. We'd better go, Pencoe.
No. No, just a minute, Regan. I want to see her walk. She looks just like her mother. Regan.
What's the matter? What?
Largo threw some that connected here. Put your arm in back of me. Hold me up, Regan. At least till she gets by. I don't want to ruin anything. Please.
But, Donald, there's Mr. Regan. He came to our wedding. How nice.
Yes. Hello, Regan. Thanks
Hello.
for coming.
Oh, we're so happy. Did you ever find the man you were looking for?
Yeah. I found him.
I'm glad. We're so very happy today.
We sure are.
Mr. Regan, do I know your friend? He looks familiar.
No, you don't know me. Not at all. Good luck.
Thank you
very much. Come on, darling.
All right, dear.
Okay, Pencall.
Thanks, Regan. Oh, get me out of here, quick.
There were 4 of Largo's slugs in him. He died in the ambulance. Homicide knew about the old feud, and that satisfied them why Pencall killed Johnny Largo and those 2 hoods. But they were bending their eyebrows trying to figure out why Pencall killed Chambers. I didn't figure it was up to me to explain it. The next morning when I came into the office, somebody was just leaving. The Lion had one arm around her shoulder.
No, just part of our service. Glad to be of help, but... Oh, Regan.
Oh, Mr. Regan.
Hello, Mrs. Gibbons.
Oh, I just came by to thank you. To thank you for everything. I didn't know that people could be so understanding. I didn't know. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Fine figure of a woman, Regan. Fine figure of a woman.
And what else does she want?
Well, she just came to thank us, that's all.
Yeah.
Regan, you don't think that after all that's happened...
Yes, I do.
Well, that certainly doesn't show a very good opinion of me.
How'd she get the address?
Well, I gave her a call.
Give me.
Now, you don't really think
I
that...
said give me.
It's just a small check. A gesture of her appreciation.
Oh.
Regan, that's dough.
You got paid for this once?
Yes, but this was a bonus for the rest of it. After all, International has expenses. This is a legitimate... Oh, well, maybe this time you're right.
Jeff Regan, Investigator, is written by E. Jack Newman, directed by Sterling Tracy, and stars Frank Graham as Regan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. Original music is by Dick Arant.
Okay, there we go. I'm trying to put a bucket together. It's not easy to do. This is when you get so tiny. I'm like, first of all, I can't see it. It's like trying to put a thread a needle. Okay, I think I got it. There we go. A bucket with a bucket handle. Okay, I gotta move this one first. This goes over here, I think. Then let me put this bucket here. Don't mess up the bucket. Okay, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. There's the, I guess I'm doing part of the outside now, probably the island. There's a little bucket, some, I think those are mushroom type things, and a little toad or right in the middle there. So, but that bucket was hard to get together there. So yeah, that was Jeff Regan, Frank Graham. That was a pretty good episode. I liked it. Yeah, 10 years since your last cup of coffee, Harry. I get you. I love coffee. You know, coffee is one of the things that I most enjoy flavor-wise. I love the flavor of coffee, but I can't drink it because even if I drink a cup of decaffeinated, it starts to affect me. So the caffeine, I'm very, very hypersensitive to it. And it kind of sucks because that's my favorite taste, flavor, whatever. I'm not sure why you stopped, but yeah, probably because of certain reasons too and all that. Coffee can mess with your stomach, high blood pressure, all kinds of different things. I mean, so, you know. But anyways, that was tough. Yeah, let's see. I drink a lot of vanilla Coke, though. Okay, that's got caffeine in it. So maybe you just stop drinking coffee. Okay. Vanilla Coke is good. That's another thing I can. Oh, and tea with cream. Cup of black tea with cream, says Chris. Gives me the jitters. But the vanilla Coke is fine, Harry? Because there's well, I guess there's a lot more caffeine in coffee. Yes, gives me, yes, jitters. Even decaffeinated gives me jitters. Okay, so bag 6, lots of little pieces still. I mean, I think the whole build is a lot of little things on the inside until I get to the tree and the upper level here, which should be coming up soon. But yeah, let's get ready for another episode. How about that? Let's see. If you haven't thumbs up already, please do give a thumbs up. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, these things are very tiny. So let's do another episode while I'm building of. Connie says I drink coffee every morning from the time I wake up till I go to bed. All day long, Connie. Oh, there are people who can drink coffee all day long. A couple pots. I don't know how you could do that. Oh my God, but everybody's different. It's the makeup of you, your body, right? Your genetic makeup, whatever. Okay. On with the build. Jeff Reagan, investigator. Lady from Brazil. I got to listen to this one.
My name's Reagan. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, International Detective Bureau. They call me the Lion's Eye.
Wednesday at 9, and CBS brings you Jeff Reagan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Reagan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery and suspense and adventure in tonight's story of The Lady from Brazil.
Her name was Irene Santino. The lady from Brazil, the Lion called her. He figured it for an easy trace job. Something for missing persons, only when we do them, the Lion gets paid. Yeah, the program said it was simple. Except before we wound it up, there were a couple of added attractions. A doctor who didn't do any doctoring, a nurse with a built-in temperature, and a couple of blackouts that were meant to be permanent. And guess what? In that last part, I was supposed to be the star. Anyhow, it all began late last Monday. I was home. My boss, Anthony J. Lyon, knocked on my door. And that's when I made my first mistake. I let him in.
Reagan, I'm glad I found you in. I'm just on my way home from the office.
You could have kept on going. I'm out of Johnny Walker.
Oh, now, Reagan, I didn't come by just for that. You got anything else?
No.
All right. As a matter of fact, I want your advice, Reagan.
Cut out starches and get some exercise. What else?
What would you do if you traveled 10,000 miles just to see your sister and then couldn't find her?
I'd give up the search.
You would? Why?
I haven't got a sister.
Oh, that's not what I'm talking about. You'd go to missing persons, wouldn't you? Sure you would. But if you knew your family in a foreign country would become greatly alarmed at this sort of notoriety, you'd look for your sister in another way. You'd hire a good private detective. Now, isn't that right?
Come on, Fatso, put it on the road.
What do you mean? I'm just posing a simple problem.
And you've got an angle somewhere.
All right, we have a new client. Her name's Irene Santino. She's from Brazil, Rio. Fine family, Reagan. Coffee. She's engaged international to locate her younger sister, Carmen.
I'm no St. Bernard.
You'll do till I can feed one. Oh, now, I know you've been working hard lately, but, Reagan, this is one of those occasions when I'm proud to be a part of our profession. We have an opportunity to help a young lady in desperate straits and at the same time secure goodwill from South America.
Ever hear of the State Department?
Of course I have, but they can't do it all alone. It's up to individual citizens to take responsibility, too.
And that's the only reason you want me to find a sister?
Absolutely. Now, Miss Santino is taking an apartment at this address. Here, go see her, comfort her, let her know International and the United States of America will do everything possible to locate her lost sister.
Yeah. That all?
That's enough.
What'd she pay you?
$200.
That's a lot of green to get in advance.
Well, she insisted. She's very anxious to find that girl.
Watch out her check doesn't bounce.
It won't. She paid cash.
That $200 was already making a lump in the Lion's coat. And I knew the next spot for it was his mattress. Well, maybe that's the reason he's a bachelor. I left him in my place and drove over to the address he'd given me. It was one of those Beverly Hills apartments with a long, glassy look. Like a greyhound with a sore stomach. Irene Santino's apartment was on the second floor. She was a tall, brown-haired girl without a smile. She wore glasses. And when she talked, she sounded sad. Like a banjo player with a paper pick.
Thank you so much for coming over, Mr. Reagan. I've been very upset all day. I just had to do something about Carmen.
Your sister?
Yes. She's the one I came to California to see.
I heard.
It's an awful vacant field.
A banjo player with a paper pick. I don't think you'd be able to get one or two chords out, and then it's over with, right? Good one, Jeff Reagan.
I thought she'd meet me at the airport, and then she wasn't there. And when I went to her address, we were very close.
She's from Rio, too?
Yes.
How's her English?
Well, the same as mine. We were both educated in the United States.
You older than Carmen?
Yes, 2 years. She's 25 now. Carmen left home a year ago. She's always been very independent. And, I received this letter from her a few days ago. It was the first word since she left home.
You came this way?
Yes.
No envelope?
Oh, I threw that away. She wrote her address there at the end, and I didn't see any need for keeping the envelope.
And she wasn't at this address?
There isn't any such address.
What does Carmen look like?
Well, I gave her a snapshot to Mr. Lyon. Didn't he give it to you?
He forgets things.
Well, no matter. I have another. Of course, it's old and not very good. I think it's right here in the suitcase. You'll pardon things strewn all over. I haven't had time. Here. Oh, here. Here you are.
See. She's blonde?
A little lighter than mine. The same height, too. We used to wear each other's clothes. Oh, Mr. Reagan, you will be able to find her, won't you?
I don't think you want me to.
Mr. Reagan, are you trying to be funny?
You hand me a snapshot so old it could be anybody, and a letter that says nothing, and you want me to turn up a blonde.
But I thought those would be leads. She mentions the name of her doctor.
Is he the man?
Man?
She left home a year ago. She wasn't following the crops. There was a man in it. I've got to have it all, lady.
All right, all right. There was a man. His name was Frank Martin. Carmen met him once in Mexico City. She thought she was in love with him. He lives out on Laurel Avenue.
You talked to him?
No. But I asked questions around. I'm completely satisfied he knows nothing about it. Perhaps if you'd see the doctor, my sister mentioned...
You want me to find your sister?
Yes.
But you don't want me to see this Frank Martin.
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to, lady. Okay. You'll get a report when I've got something. Oh, just one more thing.
What's that?
How long did you stop off on the way to shop in New York?
Well, what makes you think I'd do that?
When you leave your clothes strewn around the label show. There's no Saks Fifth Avenue in Rio. When I walked out, her mouth was wide open like she was trying to scream. Only nothing came out. I hung around outside the door for a minute to see if she'd use the phone, but nothing happened. I looked up Frank Martin in the city directory and drove over to Laurel. A 2-story apartment building the color of a bride's blush. It was wrapped around a swimming pool. Too small for people and too big for birds. Martin's name wasn't on the mailbox, so I looked up the manager.
You don't know me, do you, Pilgrim?
Well, I just got here.
I played the Pals in 26. Oh, them was the days.
You don't know me there, Pilgrim. What do you mean there, Pilgrim?
Slobs. Central Casting called me in 4 years.
Got a card?
Afros, SAG, and the Musicians Union. I play French horn. None of them call me. I figure it's television. No union yet.
I'm looking for a man named Frank Martin.
Now, look, if you got trouble, stay away from Frank. He bruises easy.
And you're just a mother to him.
He's a nice laddie. Now, remember what I tell you.
Sure,
huh?
sure.
All right. Come on. I'll show you.
Thanks.
That's him. Up there.
He stays in one key.
All the time. A low one.
You said that once.
Well, here we are. You know, I kind of like you. You get around. Ever run into Mervyn Leroy?
Not yet.
If you do, mention my name, will you?
Sure. What is it?
Just say that Trixie Finnegan was asking for him. He'll remember old Trixie.
How could he forget?
What's with this lady? Yeah, get over here. Yeah, you got blue eyes. I'm going to kiss you. Huh? What do you say? What do you do? What the heck is with this woman?
You're not a whooping, you know.
Come on in, it's unlocked.
Your name Frank Martin?
Yeah, who wants to know?
My name's Reagan. I'm a private investigator with the International Detective Bureau.
Wrong steer, Gumshoe. I don't need one.
I'm not looking for work. I'm looking for you.
What'd you say it was? Reagan?
Yeah.
Regan?
I guess that lady's a trip. I guess this is hooked up for electricity, too. Look at the meters. You got some meters. Boy, I tell you, modern conveniences, right? So there's the meters.
Regan. Just wrote that one. Pretty cute, eh?
I'm looking for a friend of yours, Carmen Centino.
Oh. How is Carmen these days?
I don't know.
But you said you were a detective.
I did.
You sound like an amateur to me.
You sound like a guy with a chip on his shoulder.
You sound like a lot of things. You're trying to get tough, baby.
It figures out when your name isn't on the mailbox.
Yeah?
Nobody'd ever write you.
I'll just skip that, Regan. Well, who hired you to do what?
Her sister's in town. She's looking for Carmen.
I know Carmen had a sister. What else?
You're the boyfriend.
Boyfriend. It's real good. Let me tell you what she's like, Regan. Eyes just right. Hair just right. Everything just right. Wait till you see her in a bathing suit. That's something, brother.
She isn't wearing one in this picture.
Let's see. No, it's a bad picture, Regan. Hardly looks like her, like she is. Ever met him like that? Well, we're going to be married, Regan. Only she decided all of a sudden she didn't want him. Just like that. It was her idea. Haven't seen her since.
You try?
Once. She moved, no forwarding address. That's all.
Makes a good story.
Yeah, but you don't believe it. Now, let me tell you the reason we broke up. It's a dilly.
My hearing's good.
Well, you've heard about the happy couple. But the guy keeps getting loaded, can't lay off. Well, this is different. This is the big switch.
Carmen.
Yeah, Carmen.
And why she was seeing a doctor?
Carmen, seeing a doctor? Look, why don't you get out of here? We don't like each other.
Her sister thinks something might have happened to Carmen. She's scared.
Yeah, some of us are scared part of the time. When somebody makes a lot of noise looking for somebody, then everybody gets scared. You scared, Regan?
Yeah.
What about?
Carmen Centino. I might be looking too late. Well, what he gave me filled in the cast, but the plot wasn't getting any clearer. So I looked up the doctor Carmen had mentioned in her letter. His name was Kingston, and the only address was a place out in Encino. It was a ranch house spilled all over the top of the hill like whipped cream. Figured he was getting oversealing for his pills. I parked my car by the gate, followed the flagstones up to the front door. When I pressed a button, I heard something that sounded like chamber music. And then a blonde girl wearing a red dress that must have been riveted on opened the door about the middle of the second chorus.
I like blue serge. Has an effect on me.
It's the only thing in the closet.
You fill it out nice. But you don't look sick.
I want to see the doctor anyway.
Come on in. We'll talk about it. You are tall, Mr.
Reagan.
Reagan.
Who are you, Florence Nightingale?
I hold the doctor's stethoscope. My name's Vivian Lytell.
Mind telling him I'm here?
He's busy. He just opened another bottle.
Well, I'm right on time.
Oh, Rex isn't sociable like me. He drinks alone. He gets more that way. Let me entertain you.
Easy, Angel. I don't know how to fix a fracture.
I've already got a man who can do that. I want one with brains.
What's the matter with the doctor?
Keeps his in a bottle. Hasn't used them for a long time now.
He's done all right.
This? He'd be selling papers if his wife hadn't left him a good insurance policy.
Don't you like his money?
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's just that the girl has feelings, too.
Yeah, they show.
I'm glad I met you. We're going to have some nice
I like the boiler pipe coming out of the
you
back.
work for a living.
Got lots of free time.
And the boiler on the inside.
Besides, I should have at least one outside interest.
Keep looking. You'll find one.
You smile good, but you talk nasty.
I only came to see Kingston.
Well, there's always the phone. Call and make an appointment. Now, get out.
Oh, Vivian, about... Oh, I didn't know you had company. I'll talk to you another time.
Just a minute, Doctor. This is Mr. Reagan.
Huh?
He's your company, but he doesn't have a business card.
Oh. Well, look, Mr. Reagan. I'm no longer in practice. Just
I'm doing research on my own. I have all the medical equipment I can use. I turned all my patients over to another doctor.
I know one you forgot.
Well, tell me who.
Carmen Santino.
Carmen.
Go ahead, Vivian. I'll speak to Mr. Reagan.
Watch yourself, Rex. He doesn't know how to be nice.
Only take a minute.
I'll crack some ice. You'll need a drink.
She's a very fine nurse.
Yeah. It's a nice uniform.
Well, working on my own, very casual. You said I had a patient named Carmen... What was it?
Carmen Santino.
I'm afraid you're mistaken, Mr. Reagan. Who told you that?
Well, I read about you in a letter.
That must have been another Kingston.
There's only one with a license.
You a relative of the girl's?
Friend.
You're a detective, aren't you?
Yeah. Want to show me your files someday?
Why not today? This way, I keep them right here in my lab. Help yourself, Mr. Reagan. Oh, you want a drink?
Too early.
You don't mind if I have one?
Your house.
Didn't find anything?
Not under Santino. She could have used another name.
No, that's possible. When was I supposed to have treated her?
Well, about a year ago, according to this letter. Here, this is a picture.
No. Oh. I've never treated anyone who looks like that.
Sure.
Positive. What was her illness?
Might have had something to do with that stuff you're drinking. They die from it sometimes.
I see. You can't see it from this window. But just over the hill, my wife is buried. I had special permission from the county, of course, bury her on my property. She was a great comfort to me. We were very close. I haven't been the same since she passed away. And that is why I am no longer in practice.
I didn't ask for that.
Oh, but you did, with your eyes. You're a strange man. Do you enjoy making a living this way, prying into other people's lives, searching for what is best left alone?
Is he still here, Rex?
Yes, Vivi. He's just leaving. You can find your way?
Yeah.
Well, bye, Blue Surge. You're a real disappointment.
Don't give up. I'll be back.
Don't bother, Regan. The doctor will be out.
The whole thing looked phony, like a fan dancer in long underwear. But when I left the two of them, I was beginning to get an idea, just beginning. I walked over the side of the hill to look at that grave. It was there all right, like he said. Irene Kingston, 1922, 1948. Well, maybe that explained it. Maybe it didn't. I was remembering those New York labels I'd seen on my clients' clothes. I called up a friend of mine in the CAA. He checked into it and told me nobody named Santino had come in from Rio on any flight in the last week. And the immigration people didn't have a passport or visa record on her either. I was home thinking about all this when my phone began ringing. It was Irene Santino, and she did all the talking.
I tried to get you at your office, Mr. Reagan, but no one answered. I had to speak to you.
Well, what about?
I found Carmen.
Say that again.
I found Carmen. Or rather, Carmen found me. I feel foolish now, calling you people in and all that. She came right to my apartment. Can you imagine she's been looking for me? Please thank Mr. Lyon for his kindness. And, Mr. Reagan.
Yeah?
It's all confidential. I wouldn't want any of this to get to the wrong people.
I have to show you guys how unique their builds are sometimes with what they use for pieces. Like this is a a rocking chair on the front porch that I'm going to set down in a second. And here's how they made it. They made it like this. And the wheels is a rounded whip and from other sets. And they use those two pieces as wheels. I think that's pretty ingenious. I think that's pretty cool. It actually looks like a rocking chair when you put it down. I'll show you in a minute, but I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, some of the wrong kind?
Doesn't everyone? Well, goodbye.
Oh, Regan, you run any expenses on this Santino thing?
No.
Good. It's all over.
Well, how do you know? She just phoned me.
Just came from missing persons. There's a cop there named Perini. Got an eye like an eagle. Had that other picture of the Santino dame with me. He took one look at it and opened up a file.
What kind of file?
Dead and unclaimed.
What do you mean?
The county buried her. Carmen Santino's been dead a year.
This is CBS, and you are listening to The Story of the Lady from Brazil, tonight's adventure with Jeff Reagan, investigator.
Well, it figured somebody was having nightmares. I didn't say anything to the lion. I went down to the Hall of Records. There was a little guy sitting at the desk in vital statistics. His fingernails were dirty, and that wasn't a Harry Drucker haircut he was wearing. He was reading a dictionary, and he must have been at a good part, because he looked mad when I nudged him.
No, we're not in a bus, buddy, so just quit shoving.
I want some information.
Public servant, that's what I'm here for. What kind of information
Death
do you want?
files.
You're such a morbid guy. We got lots of stuff on births and marriages. Why don't you ask me something about them?
Girl named Carmen Santino died about a year ago. Tell me what from.
Okay, take it easy. How do you spell it?
Just like it sounds.
Santino, huh? Yeah, Santino. What's this? Sabatini, Sailor, Sanaki, Sanford. That's what happened to old Sandy. No wonder I ain't seen him around lately.
Get the Santino.
Oh, yeah, Santino, yeah. Yes. Santino. Date of death, 15 October, 1948. Cause of death?
Alcoholic poisoning.
Yeah, that's right. How'd you get it?
Never mind. Who signed the certificate?
Rex J. Kingston, M.D.
Okay. Now, here's one more for you. Look up Irene Kingston.
The doc's wife?
Look it up.
Okay, yes. Let's see. Kingsley. Oh, yeah. Kingston, Irene, 13 October, 1948.
Cause of death?
You guessed it again. The same. Alcoholic poisoning. Hey, this guy couldn't keep a patient.
Well, that filled it in. I could see the plot, but I wasn't sure of the ending. So I didn't waste any time getting over to Irene Santino's place. But I wasn't fast enough. The door was halfway open when I got there. All the company had left, but Irene was still around. She was sitting there looking at the phone like it was all she had to think about.
Miss Reed.
What's so funny?
Excuse me for not getting up, but I didn't expect you. I told you I found my sister, didn't I?
You told me, but you didn't tell me she was dead.
I didn't even tell you that I haven't got a sister. Did I?
Come on, lady, give it to me. What are you talking about?
This little red spot on my arm. It doesn't look like much, does it? But you just wait, Mr. Reagan. You just wait. You just wait.
I found a doctor on the floor below. He grabbed his black bag and went to work on her. She quieted down to a slow, inside giggle. Then went out all the way. The doctor got a hold of an ambulance and carted her off to a hospital. They just wheeled her out the door when the lion showed up.
Reagan, did I see an ambulance out in front?
That's right. Your client was in it.
Huh?
Somebody stuffed her full of something that made her giggle.
I don't understand all this at all. I stopped by home to change to my dark suit so I could come by and bring Miss Santino the news of her sister's death. And what do I walk
You can save your tears, Fatso. She didn't come from Brazil and she wasn't rich.
That woman gave me $200 cash. There was nothing unreliable about her. We had a contract.
Well, New Year's coming up. You can use it for confetti.
Now, see here, Reagan.
Look at this picture.
Irene Santino. I have one just like it.
All right, draw some glasses on it. Add about 6 or 7 years.
I don't understand you, Reagan. We're talking business, and all at once we're playing games.
Look, when I came to see her tonight, she wasn't wearing her glasses. She looked a lot like the dame in this picture.
Well, of course she did, naturally. That's her own sister.
She never had a sister.
Never had a sister? Then who did the county bury?
That's what I'm going to find out from a certain Dr. Kingston.
I had a feeling you'd be back. I built a fire.
I forgot the marshmallows.
We'll think of something else. I'm not mad anymore.
I'm still looking for your doctor.
Well, let me take care of you. I have a way with men.
Didn't we do all this once before?
Well, it's night now. I'm better with the lights low.
Oh,
you can ask
boy.
me some questions. I know some swell answers.
I'll bet.
How do you like it?
Your way.
There. That's better. Now let's have a nice, quiet evening. Just you and me.
That why you wore that?
You like it?
You got talent, lady.
You'll discover me.
Yes.
There's been a famine of men like you.
You don't look underfed.
Boy, there.
Come on, you haven't touched your drink.
I want to see him.
It's getting hot in here.
All right. We could have had such a nice evening. Rex.
What is it?
Mr. Regan's here again.
Oh, yeah. Hello, Regan. Didn't I tell you I'd be out?
You told me that, but you didn't tell me what I wanted to know. Had to go to Vital Statistics to get it.
What?
You don't have anything in your files about Carmen Santino, but you signed her death certificate.
Now, you get this, Regan. I don't have to talk to anyone who comes here without a warrant, and you haven't got one.
When I tell the city attorney's office what I've got, they'll have somebody out here to open that grave on the hill.
What do you mean, Regan?
Irene Kingston died 2 days before Carmen Santino of the same thing. Dr. Kingston signed both certificates, and he collects on his wife's insurance. Only I don't think his wife really died. I think that extra grave on the hill is window dressing.
My wife didn't die, Regan. Where is she now?
I don't know. But she could be around town using the name of Irene Santino. It was a shot in the dark, but it brought results. Kingston swung a lamp base around that connected on the side of my head. When I came to, I was in a white room in the back of the house. Nothing worked.
Irene,
So I
will
just
you
lay
please
there.
bring a bottle?
Vivian was standing there with Kingston. He looked sick, like an ostrich with a
Will
sore
you
throat.
Please, Irene.
He had a needle in his hand.
I got the shakes.
You can do it all right, Rex. Go ahead.
It's the same treatment you two tried to give Irene.
You should have stayed out, Regan.
I wanted one more look at you,
I
baby.
hate to see the nice ones go, but it'll be all over in a minute. All right, Rex.
Give me a drink, Vivian. I gotta have a
It
drink.
won't help. I found Irene in time. She's in a hospital.
What?
She's gonna live. She's gonna talk.
Go ahead,
Irene's
Rex.
still alive?
Rex, give it to him, and then we'll clear out.
I didn't kill her. I didn't kill
You'll
her.
do better this time.
I can't.
Go ahead.
No, I won't.
I said go ahead. I'll shoot you, Rex. I'll shoot you if you don't.
No, you won't. It's all over, Vivian. It's
Vivian
all
hit the gun,
over.
but Kingston was too much for her. All of a sudden, it began going off. Vivian started to look pale. Then she went down, slow.
Oh, she deserved that.
That what you're gonna tell the state?
Regan, is Irene really gonna live?
That's what the doctor says.
Oh, good. Regan, look, no, don't try to move. I gave you a shot of preparatory solution. You won't be able to move for another hour. I suppose I ought to run.
You won't get far.
I know. Listen to me. Irene is my wife. She's innocent of all this. When you tell the police the real story,
I haven't got it all. I know it started with Carmen Santino.
Oh, she stumbled in one night, dropped dead before I could do anything for her.
Alcohol.
Yeah. Before she died, she kept talking about a man named Martin.
Lives over on Laurel.
But I didn't get in touch with him. I had a better idea. She looked a great deal like my wife, Irene. It was really quite remarkable.
The insurance.
Yeah. Irene didn't want to do it, but she loved me, so she finally agreed to hide out in New York. I used one body for 2 death certificates, buried an empty box up on the hill. I was supposed to join Irene later. We were going to start a new life together.
Vivian.
Yeah. Vivian came along. I was drinking one night. She found out the truth. I was trapped. Would have stayed that way if Irene hadn't hired you.
Well, it figures she made up that story about a sister from Brazil just to scare you into getting rid of Vivian.
It worked, too. I'm scared stiff.
Yeah, like that guy Martin said. Somebody gets scared, and then you... Everybody.
Regan? Regan, can you hear me?
Huh? Oh, sorry. Stuff's making me sleep.
Yeah, that'll wear off. I'm going now, Regan. See that Irene gets a fair shake.
I'll try. He picked up a bottle and started out the door. He didn't even look down at Vivian's body on the floor. I tried to move, but like you said, nothing worked. It was more than 2 hours before I could get to the phone and call homicide. And it was more than 2 days before I talked to the Lion.
Jeffrey, my boy, how you feeling? Better?
Well, the fog's gone out of my head, if that's what you mean. Otherwise, I feel lousy.
Oh, don't take it so hard, my boy. All in a day's work. Besides, there's the brighter side. Yes, indeed.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, they got that Dr. Kingston. He only got as far as Las Vegas. Crime doesn't pay, Jeffrey. Crime just does not pay.
Doesn't, huh? What's this?
Now, wait a minute. Give me that.
Application, Consolidated Insurance.
It's nothing, I tell you.
You mean to tell me you're going to try to collect a reward?
Well, we did expose an insurance fraud, and there's nothing in the world that stinks like a fraud.
I'll say.
Hey, wait a minute, Regan. Where are you going?
Out to buy an Airwick.
Jeff Regan, Investigator, is written by E. Jack Newman, directed by Sterling Tracy, and stars Frank Graham as Regan, with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. Original music is by Dick Arant. Jeff Regan, Investigator, is heard each week at the same time over CBS. Bob Stevenson speaking, and inviting you to be with us again next Wednesday at 9 for more suspense and mystery and adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Okay, Lady from Brazil, Jeff Regan, Frank Graham playing the part. I think he does a good job. He's not Jack Webb, but he does a good job. I just opened up bag 7 to what Harry just said there, the A-frame cabin Lego idea set 21338. There it is. And the cabin is coming along good. The only thing I keep having trouble with, and I never had any trouble with most Lego builds, is the floor on the front porch on the one side keeps popping up, so it's not a perfect fit. But other than that, I mean, it's looking really, really good. Probably saving the top floor for the last and the side. Most of this has got to be done on the first floor. Magnifying glass, get back in there. Right now, like I said, I'm building where the tree is going to be. So this is all going to go into a big tree. Yeah, that's about it. Imagine being the musician who has to come up with a dramatic music for on the fly. Right. Well, they probably all are real similar, right? So probably easier than you think it is. But yeah, let's do another Jeff Regan as I continue to build this. I just started bag 7. Again, I have leaves that are all fall, which is going to kind of conflict with the summer foliage and everything on the other trees, but we shall see. I'll figure that out later. I'll build it the way it's supposed to be built, and I may replace the leaves to all green eventually down the road. But let's play another Jeff Regan, Wanted to Live, from 1949. Wanted to Live. So here we go. Continuing on.
My name's Regan. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, International Detective Bureau. They call me the Lion's Eye.
Wednesday at 9, and CBS brings you Jeff Regan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Regan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery and suspense and adventure in tonight's story of The Lady Who Wanted to Live.
Trouble comes cheap in this town. It's one item that's always on the market. You don't even have to go shopping for it. Somebody knocks on your door or dials your number, and you've got all you can handle. I found that out when I met Amy Goodrich, a long, low blonde with lots of speed. One look at her, and you knew you'd been friends too long. We met last Friday afternoon. I'd been out of town 2 days looking for a guy who turned up in jail in Reno. I was home counting the lumps in my mattress, trying to catch up on some sleep, when the phone began jumping around on the hook. I thought it might be somebody with Rose Bowl tickets. I was wrong. It was the Lion. Hello?
Regan, is that you?
What do you want?
Oh, it's a beautiful afternoon. The sun's shining. There's a tang in the air. How'd you like to take a nice drive out to the beach?
The season's over.
Oh, but this is a new season. Fall, Regan. Light suntan, wild ocean. Doesn't it excite you?
I haven't had any sleep in 2 days.
I know, and I hate myself for disturbing you. I just hate myself.
Get to the point, Fatso.
Well, something very important's come up, Jeffrey. I wouldn't trust anybody but you to handle it. Besides, the sea air will do you good. Give you a lift.
This isn't Berlin. Say something.
Well, I want you to call on our new client. She's a nightclub singer. Has a beach cottage at Santa Monica, 18106 Coast Road. Her name's Amy Goodrich. You still there, Jeffrey?
Still here.
Up, my boy, to the colors, on the firing line.
Drop dead.
Oh, now that's not being a good soldier. Why, if I didn't know you,
I hung up, stuck my head under the pillow again, and waited for him to call back. He didn't. He was playing it coy. Well, I tossed around for another half hour. The mattress got worse, and then a fly started buzzing against the window shade. About that time, the blonde next door decided to leave her husband, and it got real noisy. So I rolled out of bed, threw on some clothes, and climbed in my car. I drove over to Sunset Boulevard and headed for Santa Monica. 18106 Coast Road turned out to be a bundle of flagstone and glass brick piled up against the ocean. Had a lot of angles, like a shyster lawyer. Figure whoever built it never heard of the FHA. Front door was open. Inside, a skinny little guy with a complexion like dry.
I agree with you, Lord Kiza. Well, I listen. I love all forms of media. I love movies, film, all of that stuff. But I fell in love with old time radio when I was a teen. You did when you were drunk in 2013. So yeah, no, this is definitely. Very, very cool, and glad you jumped on the channel. So yeah.
Codfish was catching up on his music appreciation. His eyes swung around when I walked in. It looked like they'd been hurting him all his life. He turned the record player down, but those elevator shoes brought him up to my chin.
I'm listening to music. Whatever you're selling, we don't want any.
How do you know?
We never want anything. So long.
Amy around?
Who are you?
My name's Reagan.
What do you want?
You her?
She's around. All right, she's out back on the patio, taking a sunbath. You didn't tell me what you want with her.
I don't. She wants me. Okay?
Okay, sure, okay. Why should you be any different?
Traffic problem, huh?
Yeah, we need stoplights. Go right on through the dining room.
Just in case I want to write this up, who are you?
Felix. Felix Beethoven. Well?
I didn't say anything.
What the heck? Felix Beethoven.
When I saw her on the patio by the beach, I knew why Felix was hurting. Amy Goodrich was the kind of blonde they put on those resort hotel calendars in Las Vegas. No matter what month it was, she'd always start you looking around for spring. There wasn't enough material in her sunsuit to make a good pen wiper. And when she smiled at me, I began to feel warm inside, like a radio with a broken coil.
I know it's warm for this time of year, but you aren't wearing a sheepskin.
It wouldn't fit in this crowd.
You're from Mr. Lyon, aren't you?
How'd you know?
Well, he said he was sending me his best man. So, Mr. Reagan, come over here and sit by me.
Sure I won't crowd you.
Mm-mm.
Your party, lady.
I always drink scotch. How about you?
Maybe. Later.
Well, so you're the lion's eye, Very nice.
Depends on how you look at it. I had to crawl out of bed to come over here.
Oh? You haven't been sick, I hope.
Well, when you work for the line, you just don't get much sleep.
Oh, I see. I thought you looked nice and strong.
I'll tell my tailor.
And quick, too. Look, you can relax, Regan. This job is going to be easy.
What is the job?
Protecting me.
If you're going to wear that all the time, I'd better send for reinforcements.
Woo! I think you'll be able to handle it. You'll do just fine.
If I know who I'm protecting you from.
Yes, I suppose you do have to know that. Have you ever heard of Tim Conover, Mr. Regan?
Yeah. He runs an upholstered cigar box downtown. Diamond Club.
He plays for keeps.
I've heard.
And apparently I interest him.
It figures.
I worked for him 2 years ago singing. He became very interested in me, but I turned him down.
Conover wouldn't like that.
He doesn't. He has another girlfriend now, a Helen Lesser. I thought she'd take his mind off me, but she hasn't.
You still sore?
He's been around 6 times this past week, casing the place. I think he's got some nasty ideas.
Like?
I don't know. But he might not be very gentle.
So, I hang around until he shows up, huh?
Mm-hmm. You protect me, Mr. Regan. I want you to stay real close to me.
I, could go to the Diamond Club, talk to him.
You could, but he doesn't impress easily. And, I'd still want you around.
I see. You don't want me to talk to him.
There'll be time for that later. But right now, let's you and I get acquainted.
Your boyfriend isn't going to like that.
Felix? He's only my arranger. He writes better if he's jealous.
He must turn out a couple of operas a day. He's got a bad ticker, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. He's got a bad heart. But let's talk about us.
Conover, remember?
Oh, Regan, don't go. I hate to be alone.
I'll be back.
Why don't you stay for dinner? I'll send Felix out to a double feature or something.
I'm hired. I have to see Conover.
All right. Kiss me goodbye.
No thanks, lady. I gotta drive. But it figured Amy never read the vehicle code. I didn't mind when her arms went around me, but I could feel something else on the back of my neck. Eyes. Somewhere in that house, Felix was watching, and I knew he wouldn't like the kind of music we were making.
Hurry back, baby.
I could still feel him watching when I broke away and walked back through the house. He wasn't in the dining room, so I went through the archway to the living room. I didn't find him, but he found me. For a guy with a bad ticker, he was fast at his feet. He had a letter opener in his hand, but I didn't see the afternoon mail.
Stay away
I
from
grabbed
her,
for him and he
Regan,
slid
you
away. Then he came around again. This time I got my hand around his wrist. Drop it, Buster. Drop it.
Can you...
Take it easy. You got small bones. You're not built for rough work.
Leave her alone. Leave her alone, Regan. You leave her alone.
Felix got his idea across all right, but he had a one-track mind. I tried some questions, but got no answers. I figured Conover might do better, so I got in my car and drove back into town. It was just getting dark when I parked in Figueroa near Olympic, in front of the Diamond Club. Things were slow when I walked in, too early for the jingle you spin crowd. When I asked for Conover, the bartender blinked a couple of wet stones at me.
In back, bud,
Jerked
in
his
the
head
back.
toward the rear. I got as far as the shuffleboard table when a brunette eased out of the shadows. She wasn't wearing a coat, and it figured she was there to stay.
May I help you?
I'm looking for Tim Conover.
I'm expecting him. Come on in. Sit down, Mr.
Regan.
Oh, so you're Jeff Regan.
Ring a bell?
I've heard the name before. It fits you. You're a private investigator. Yes, of course. Tim's not in any trouble, is he?
Not yet.
What do you mean?
Maybe I better talk to him about it. Huh?
Well, if it's that important, I better find him. Make yourself at home, Mr. Regan. If you like scotch...
Thanks. I helped myself to that, waited around for about 10 minutes. The phone rang once, and I let it go. A guy in a blue suit stuck his head in the door, said something about getting the wrong room, backed out. I was just catching up on my music when the door opened. Through the mirror, I saw Conover. A gray suit with a bulge in the front of his coat.
There he is, Tim.
Thanks, baby. I didn't know you played, Regan.
Hello, Conover.
I was having dinner. Helen tells me you've got something on your mind.
That's right. Do I unload it now? In front of her?
Why not? She's my baby.
This is about another baby of yours. Do I go on?
It's your show, Regan.
Amy Goodrich wants you to know she's got protection.
Oh? Well, all right, Regan. You did your job. You told me Amy's got protection. See you somewhere.
She wants to be left alone.
All right, she wants to be left alone. Anybody bothering her?
You are, according to her.
This guy's working in a weed field, Angel. I got over her a long time ago. I haven't seen her in 2 years.
I believe you, Tim.
All right, Regan. She believes me. This is where you get off.
Amy says she's seen you hanging around her place lately. Makes her nervous.
Wrong guy, Regan. You made a big mistake.
Sure. So the guy who picked Michigan.
Look, I don't know what your pitch is, or Amy's, but I'm not buying any.
You may change your mind.
You know, you've been in business too long, taking too many rabbit punches. You ought to start taking care of yourself.
You ring, boss?
Yeah. Get rid of this bum.
They were a real pretty pair of muscles. One of them had a nose that looked like he'd been dipping it in an ink bottle all his life. The other one had an ear that could have passed for a golf ball.
Oh,
well, they
man.
walked me out a door that opened onto an alley in back of the
love
club.
these lines.
That's when the one with all the nose frisked me.
Hey, just in case, Pally, just in case.
Get your hands off me, punk.
Easy, easy. We're just...
Gussie says take it easy.
Hey, look. State of California. Gun and all. This guy's a gumboots. Max.
What?
I don't like no gumboots. Gumboots worse than a bum.
You hear that, gumboots? Gussie says a gumboots is worse than a bum. He don't talk.
Gumboots. How tough are you? Still don't
Lots of
talk.
details here.
Hey, Gussie asked you, how tough you are, huh? Are you tough? Tough? Not so tough.
Hey, my turn. Hold it.
All right.
Now, gumboots, here's what we get on answer.
Very nice, Gussie.
Thank you. Come on, Maxie. We'll be late for dinner.
Yeah, what about him?
Ain't you heard? He don't feel like eating tonight.
I don't know how long I was away, but when I came back, I felt like I'd been sleeping on the wrong side of the world. I was still in that alley, and it was still dark. My head was rattling like it was full of broken glass. A yellow cat with an inferiority complex was sitting there looking at me. All of a once, he started running.
Regan.
I didn't try to catch him.
Regan. Hey, Regan.
Oh.
Can you hear me? Wake up.
Yeah.
Have you been drinking?
Oh, shut up.
I send you out on a simple little job. I put all my faith and trust in you, and what do? Wind up in an alley drunk.
Get out of here.
Nuzzled up to a garbage pail, bleary-eyed, with melon seeds in your hair. How
Stop
can
blowing
you
steam, Fatso. You're not a locomotive.
Oh, now, don't get so excited. You're getting seeds all over.
Give me a hand, will you?
Yeah.
How'd you get here?
Amy Goodrich called. She was getting worried about you. Said you went over to see Conover. She wanted me to stop you.
I figured she would, but she's too late. A couple of his boys played beanbag with my skull.
Well, who does Conover think he is, anyway, pushing my boy around? Just who does he think
There's the door. Go in and ask him.
Well, now, I couldn't do that. Well, tell me, what's this all about?
That's what you're going to tell me.
But I don't know anything.
Amy Goodrich must have told you something when she hired me. If you're holding out on me...
But I'm not, Jeff.
Well, then start checking. Find out about Conover.
Conover? What do you want to know about him?
Everything. Find out, for example, if there's anything Amy Goodrich could be blackmailing him with.
Blackmail? Regan, what is going on?
I told you I don't know.
Well, then make a guess.
Okay. It looks like everyone's in love with Amy. I left the lion standing there. He looked worried, like an elephant with a skin rash. None of it made sense. I knew I'd have to get some answers before long. I drove over to my place and straightened myself out with a shower and some Johnny Walker. A half hour later, I was back out in Santa Monica. Fog was closing in over the house when I rang the bell. Nobody answered. But somewhere in the back there was a light, so I walked around on the sand. The patio was empty. Inside, Amy was sitting on a zebra-striped couch. She was wearing a white strapless thing with a splash of red in one shoulder. She had a movie magazine in one hand and a drink in the other. But she wasn't having a very good time. She was dead.
This is CBS, and you are listening to The Story of the Lady Who Wanted to Live. Tonight's adventure with Jeff Reagan, investigator.
Well, the Lion wasn't going to like it. His client, Amy Goodrich, was dead, and she wasn't in the market for protection anymore. I looked around for a gun, but didn't find it. Then I picked up the phone and put in a call to homicide. But I never talked to them. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Felix standing out on the patio, and he saw me. I hit the floor and pulled the ramp with me. Even after the gun was empty, he stood there pulling the trigger. Then he threw it down and began running toward the ocean. I went after him. Hold still. Hold still.
No, let me go.
You'll drown.
No, I don't care. I loved her, Regan. I couldn't stand it anymore.
Come here.
I couldn't stand it anymore, so I killed her. It doesn't make sense, does it?
Sure it does, but you're not going to kill yourself.
Oh, the police.
What about him?
I phoned them. I told them everything.
When?
Just before you came.
Come on.
Oh, but they'll be here. Let go.
Yeah, that's why I said come on. I dragged him out of the surf and got him into my car. He kept mumbling all the way into town. It was 2 minutes after 10 when we got to my apartment. 3 phone calls turned up the Lion in a Turkish bath. He kicked, but when I told him what happened, he said he'd come right away. 20 minutes later, he walked in. He still had a towel wrapped around his head. He looked like Sitting Bull in an Easter bonnet.
Where is he, Regan? Where is he?
In there, asleep.
Asleep? Just like that, he can drop off to sleep after what he's done?
I gave him some pills.
What about homicide?
He already called him.
But they'll be looking for him down at the beach. We've got to stay clean, Regan. I'm going to phone homicide.
Pick up that phone and I'll ram it so far down your throat you'll get a busy signal out of your hip pocket.
This is murder. What's gotten into you?
You're not going to toss Felix to the wolves.
Regan, you'll find the girl dead. Felix has the gun. He admits killing her. What are you saving him for? What are you going to do with him? Stuff him and put him on your mantle?
He's a fall guy, a patsy. He didn't do it.
He didn't kill her?
He was carrying this gun. He took 6 shots at me tonight. That's all it holds. There's 1 bullet in her, and he didn't have any extra slugs. Now, what did you find out about Tim Conover?
Oh, he's clean, Regan. Absolutely clean. Unless you want to count a court-martial. He celebrated V.E. Day by poking a major in the chops.
What else?
He kicked him, too.
All right.
Hey, where are you going?
Out. Look, you stay here and keep Felix company.
Oh, of course, Regan. I'll do that. Run along. You needn't worry. I'll watch over Felix like a father.
You'd better.
But the cops will be here. It won't take them more than an hour or 2 to find him.
Yeah, and I've got just that long to find out who really killed Amy Goodrich.
All right. I suppose I'll have to go along. After all, we're working hand in hand in this thing.
In that case, I'll hide my ring.
Building a tree now.
I didn't like the idea of leaving the Lion there with Felix, but there was nothing else I could do. Besides, I still had to do business with a guy named Conover. I was just getting into my car when I felt a gun in my back. And right away, I knew Conover had business with me.
All right, Regan. We got things to talk over, now just keep walking straight ahead, the black sedan. Now, Regan, you sit in front with Helen. I'll take the back seat. Okay, Helen.
Where to, Tim?
Nowhere. Regan and me can do our talking right here. It's quiet.
Tim, are you sure you're doing right?
Please, let me handle this, baby. All right, Regan, what's the play? I know Amy's dead. Now, let's just take it from there.
Who told you?
I was there tonight.
Tim, you shouldn't. He'll involve you. He'll tell the police.
I said I'll handle this, baby.
So you were there. I know, don't tell me. She was already dead when you showed up.
No, not quite. All I got out of her was the name of some guy, Dolan, and something about Lake Tahoe. She seemed to think I know what it was about.
And you didn't?
No. Kind of figured you'd tell me.
All right. Blackmail.
Amy? Blackmailing me? You didn't know her very well, did you, Regan?
She said she needed protection. I think she wanted a strong-arm boy.
No, it doesn't fit. She was no good, but not blackmail. It doesn't fit at all.
Maybe I can make it fit.
Don't try. I'm not going to be tagged for this thing, Regan. You know some answers. Maybe you better start talking right now. I said start talking.
I didn't know if Conover was just looking for information or if he wanted to find out how much I knew about a guy named Dolan in Lake Tahoe. Well, I had a 50-50 chance. I could get the butt of that gun across my face, or I could try walking away and take a chance of getting a bullet in my back. And then I saw an old coupe, Oklahoma license, limping along the other side of the street. I opened the door, stepped out onto the sidewalk. Reagan! I kept on going into the middle of the street. Conover yelled, but he didn't fire. And then the coupe slammed on the brakes.
What's the matter with you, Pilgrim? You want to get yourself bashed up standing out in the middle of the street? Want to get yourself all bashed up,
We ran out of gas.
Well, join an auto club. Pay your dues.
There's no phone. Could you give me a lift?
I wasn't going anyhow. Well, climb in. And do it at the bowling alley. Hey, what are them two going to do? Just sit there, Nick?
I didn't answer that. But when we pulled away, Conover was just sitting there staring. But there was nothing to stare at. Helen was different. She registered one look. Fear. 15 minutes later, the Oklahoma license dropped me off at Vermont and Franklin, where I got a cab. All the way downtown, I kept wondering about Conover's play. He could have stopped me, but he didn't. That could mean he hadn't shot Amy. It could also mean he had shot her, but he knew about Felix confessing over the phone to the police. At the Examiner morgue, I found Ned Fuller looking at a girly magazine. I told him what I wanted, and 10 minutes later, he spread out a file dated May 9th, 1945.
Is this it? Wealthy playboy shot to death. Willard J. Dolan, San Francisco socialite, found dead at Lake Tahoe cabin.
That's it.
Oh, well, they never did solve it. There's some stuff here about a mystery
I can
woman.
read.
They think she might have done it. Somebody seen her come out of the cabin that night. She's tall, blonde.
First name, Amy.
No, they never found out who she was.
Somebody did.
Oh, well, there was witnesses. Yeah, let's see here. Mr. and Mrs. Franklin James, San Diego people. They saw the dame come out. They couldn't give a good description of her.
Want to bet?
A bet? Sure, I'll take Notre Dame. Who'll you take?
I'll take a guy named Tim Conover.
Reagan.
Hello, Conover. You're staying up late tonight.
You work awfully hard for a buck, soldier.
That's for what your boys did to me out in an alley.
I wonder what makes a guy walk into trouble 3 times in one day. You got a lot of nerve, Regan, but you use it in the wrong places.
I'm just getting started.
All right, make your play. What's next?
You talk.
What about?
Dolan, Willard J.
I told you.
Lake Tahoe, May 9th, 1945. Talk, Conover. All right, then I'll talk. A tall blonde named Amy Goodrich. An unsolved murder at Lake Tahoe. But there was a witness. When I first came over here, I guess she was blackmailing you. I was wrong. You were blackmailing her.
You stink, Regan. I told you you wouldn't tag me for this.
Well, you're wrong.
No, he isn't, Mr. Reagan.
Oh, so that's it.
Thanks, Helen. Give me the gun. I'll run things from now on. I don't know what you get out of this, Regan, but you got your engine switched.
Look, a mixed-up guy named Felix Beethoven actually thinks he killed Amy, and he didn't. I've got him on ice, but the cops will get him. And when they do, he's on his way to the gas chamber.
Oh, Tim, please, let's get out of here. Let's not listen.
Wait a minute, baby, wait. So I was blackmailing Amy. I had a good thing, but I shot her. And I was the mystery witness at Lake Tahoe. I thought you were a better gumshoe than that, Regan.
What does that mean?
The date was May 9th, 1945. You mean you haven't looked me up?
All of a sudden, it hit me. Something the Lion had said about V.E. Day and a major who got hit in the chops. When the whole thing came apart at the seams, Conover couldn't have been the witness. He was in a guardhouse in Germany. I began to feel helpless, like a glassblower with hiccups. For the first time in my life, I really wanted to talk to the Lion.
Okay, I gotta make 6 of these.
I looked at the gun in Conover's hand, then I reached
here
for
we
the
go.
phone and dialed. Slow. He didn't stop me.
Yes.
Lion, the cops.
Oh, Regan. They're not here yet.
Felix?
Still asleep.
Well, get him out of there.
Regan, I can't do that.
Get him out of there. We broke our pick.
What?
I've been working the wrong angle. We gotta have more time.
But I can't get him out of here now. We'll be seen. You must have something.
I have. A guy named Willard Dolan was killed at Lake Tahoe. A Mr. and Mrs. Franklin James were the witnesses. But Conover isn't...
Reagan.
Hold it. Yeah?
That name.
Tim.
Mr. and Mrs. Franklin James?
Hang up.
Regan, what's going on?
Hang up.
Jeffrey, are you...
Helen's got something to tell you.
Oh, Tim, please.
Go ahead. Go ahead, baby. Tell him.
Tim.
Wait a minute. Mrs. Franklin James.
Yeah, Mrs. Franklin James.
All right. I was Mrs. Franklin James. I was a witness. I did blackmail Amy.
And you figured me to be the fall guy. You've hung around just so you could use me if the heat ever came on.
No, I swear, Tim. I love you. I never meant to get you involved. But I used a piece of your stationery once. Amy had a trace.
So she figured it was Conover all the time.
Yes. Oh, I went crazy trying to...
Hey there, Undead Caesar.
Because
What's
I love
going
you.
on?
I couldn't let anything happen to you.
No. No, but you set me up for a murder rap.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to protect you. Don't you see Amy was going to kill you, Tim?
She was going to kill me.
Yes. Oh, she wanted Regan Forrest to set up that story about your threatening her. And then she could claim self-defense.
But it didn't work that way.
No. You came around. I couldn't let Tim find out. I couldn't let anybody find out.
You killed her, didn't you?
Yes, I killed her. For you, Tim. I killed her for you. We can get away, darling. Regan's the only one who knows.
Sure, and the kid with a bum ticket takes the rap. Except that somebody might ask questions about what happened to me.
We'll have to take that chance, Tim. Regan's the only one who can make trouble for us.
Us, baby?
What?
I don't have any troubles. You have.
Oh, Tim. You're joking. Listen to me.
You're wasting your time.
Tim. You won't help me?
No.
You won't help me?
No.
But if you let them arrest me, I'll die. They'll convict me. Oh, please, you have the gun, Tim. You can save me. I don't want to die. I love you. I want to live. I don't want to go.
All right, Regan.
What a performance. What a
You wanna get her
performance.
out of here.
Tim.
Regan, I said get her out of here.
Well, that's the way it wound up. Helen went to headquarters. Tim went back to his club. I went out of town for a few days. When I got back, I drifted into the office. The Lion gave me the wind-up. A report on Felix.
Yes, Regan. Those doctors worked on Felix Beethoven 3 days. Psychiatric medicine's a profound study. Profound. They finally convinced him he didn't kill Amy.
Yeah.
That's sad. He loved that woman as cruel as she was to him. He loved her a great deal. I suppose life will be lonely for him now that she's gone.
You're wrong.
What do you mean?
I saw him in Hollywood today. He's got a new friend, one with red hair.
You mean to tell me he's willing to do it again? To accept abuse from another woman? Why, that man's a natural for any woman's dominance.
He hasn't got a thing to worry about.
But you said she was a redhead, and I know redheads.
Yeah, but Felix is bigger than this one. Besides, the new one's a Cocker Spaniel.
Jeff Regan, Investigator, was written by E. Jack Newman and Adrian Jandot, directed by Sterling Tracy. Frank Graham is starred as Regan, with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. Original music is by Dick Arant. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Okay, Wanted to Live by Jeff Regan. Frank Graham episode. Yeah, I've got the little hut here going on. The little wood out back. And the tree I just built. And now I've got just a couple more to build, but I have to build all the leaves and that come off of to make the tree. Again, I wish it wasn't all fall colors. I want it to be summer throughout the entire city. But I did make 4 here really quick. I'm almost done with the 5th one. And then we'll keep going. But good to see everybody. I see Undead Caesar came in here, and William, Barry Geekler. Planet Sage, what's going on, buddy? Been enjoying this. I figured, why I build, why not stream it and play some old-time radio. CBS Radio Mystery Theater tonight. Good mix of some CBS Radio Mystery shows. So hopefully you enjoy that. It's almost 8 o'clock. I'll be going for another hour and a half. I wanted to get through these last two bags 8 and 9. So that leaves me 5 more, so that I should be able to finish this up tomorrow. Either way, I'm finishing up tomorrow. This set, because I'm moving on to the next set. So one way or the other, I'll get this done tomorrow. And then the expanse of the city will commence, because right now it's the city, and then we're going to have the woods and the cabin and the lake on the other side. This is really starting to come together and grow. So let me play another one. Again, if you're coming in or stopping by, please hit that thumbs up button, please, and comment afterwards, do all that good stuff. Let me go ahead and play another one as I'm doing this. And sometimes these little things like this just take a lot of time. Like Chris said, this has got a lot of little parts. The interior of this cabin has so many tiny things. It's got a typewriter. It's got a stove, a potbelly stove, a fire extinguisher, chairs, a record player. It's just filled with little things. I love it. I even love the rocking chair up here on the, not the rocking chair, but yeah, the rocking chair on the front porch here. And there's a little thing to cook on, a little fried egg next to it too. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So next one is Little Man's Lament. Jeff Reagan, 1949. Enjoy as I finish off these leaves. I've got 2 more to go.
My name's Reagan. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, International Detective Bureau. They call me the Lion's Eye.
Wednesday at 9, and CBS brings you Jeff Reagan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Reagan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery and suspense and adventure in tonight's story of The Little Man's Lament.
They called it Margate Mansion, but the name didn't fit. It was a pile of old cement and cracked stucco held up by a half a dozen tired palm trees. The people inside didn't fit either. A crusty old lady who talked backwards, a redhead with an urge to travel fast. But it was Junior who won first prize. He was half Einstein and half Hollywood playboy. Only when this boy played, it was with poison. It started on a Tuesday. I was headed down Taft Avenue on my way to the laundromat. I had a date with a washing machine and a blonde cashier named Gloria. That's when a cab pulled up beside me and the Lion hopped out. He was blowing sparks out of a fat cigar. I could tell by the 50-cent smell that we had a new client.
Oh, Jeffrey, my boy, I'm glad I caught you.
Get back in the cab, Fatso. I'm busy.
But I have to talk to you. I was just going up to your apartment.
Have a good time. I'll be out all day.
Now, Jeffrey, is that any way to talk? After all I've done for you? After the many opportunities I've given you to help your fellow beings in distress?
I've worked 3 weeks without a rest. I gotta wash my socks.
Wash your socks? You can talk about a thing like that when I'm here to present you with a golden opportunity? An opportunity to demonstrate our humanitarian sentiments? A chance to lift one who's in trouble?
How much did you lift from him?
$100, and it's not a him, it's a her. Oh, it's really a simple job, Jeffrey. Very simple. I've just been over there. Lovely old house, fine old family. The Margates, flower of the old South.
Gone to seed.
Well, yes, but you know how it is with descendants of old families. Fresh young growth choked back by the weeds of the old family stock. The fresh new plant smothered by decay and ruin.
Try Vigoro.
Reagan, you don't seem to understand. We've been retained by Mrs. Margate. It's about her nephew, Hilary Margate. Strange youth, very strange youth indeed. If Mrs. Margate needs protection from him. I tell you, it's a very serious matter.
Well, so's my laundry.
Regan, will you listen to me?
There's another choice?
Yes, see Mrs. Margate, root out the facts.
Get her a gardener.
She doesn't need a gardener, she needs you, and don't give me any more trouble.
Okay, sweetheart. Here.
You wait a minute. What's it?
My laundry. Put the shirts and socks in a washing machine, put 2 bits in the slot. And stay away from the blonde. She doesn't like cigar smoke.
Regan, this means you will see Mrs. Margate?
Don't try to be coy. You knew I'd see her the minute you stepped out of that cab. I walked up Vine and turned right past Franklin. All the places up there are old, but Margate Mansion was old when William S. Hart was Gene Autry. A bunch of turrets made out of wood that termites wouldn't look at. But I was looking at what was standing in the front bay window, looking at me. Red hair and wide eyes and a complexion like skim milk. She was what answered the door when I twisted the old-fashioned bell.
Hello. I saw you from the window.
Yeah, I saw you seeing me.
Come in. Oh, come in, please.
She thinks she's Marilyn Monroe.
I hope you don't mind the disorder. I'm afraid I don't. Your name?
Regan.
Oh. Sit here, Mr. Regan.
Yeah, I guess she thinks she's Marilyn Monroe. I missed... something popped out. Where is it? Oh, it's right there. Yeah, I don't like the fall leaves, but that's all right. I mean, I do like them, but when the whole city is green with foliage, flowers, and it's summer, this isn't going to look right. But I'll put it there anyways like that. But I am going to replace these leaves and make them all green. But it does look pretty cool. I like that. Looks good. You know? Eventually, I'd like to, maybe change up the times of the season. That might be a cool thing to do. Especially when Halloween comes around and I'm working on the haunted house and all the horror stuff in the city. So that's going to be pretty cool. Okay, moving on. Let me get this show started again. Hold on. Marilyn Monroe.
Please don't mind the dust on the sofa. No one nice ever comes, so it doesn't matter. I like you. I want you to stay.
It shows.
You're not married or anything like that, Mr. Regan.
Nothing like that.
Oh, that's nice. I'm not married either, Mr. Regan.
I heard it was Mrs. Margate.
Oh, that's my aunt. I'm not married at all. Mr. Regan, you didn't just come to see my aunt.
I've got a lot of time.
Oh, I've been foolish again, haven't I? Oh, sometimes I get so mixed up. I'm...
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
Yes, Mr. Regan.
What's your name?
Gwethelyn.
Mrs. Margate's niece.
Yes.
Hillary's your brother?
Yes, Mr. Regan. All those questions.
Business.
Business?
International Detective Bureau. Your aunt's on the line for $100 worth.
A detective?
Well, that's polite for it.
Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. You shouldn't have told me that at all.
Suppose you tell me some things.
I'm mixed up, Mr. Regan. I can't tell.
Gwethelyn.
That's my aunt.
Did I hear the front door bell?
Don't say anything. Don't tell her.
I did hear the front door. Well, Gwethelyn, who is this man?
Regan.
Regan? Oh, you're the man they call the Lion's Eye. I've been expecting you. I'm gardening.
I should have figured.
What? Oh, I have a green thumb, as they say. Follow me. Go to your room, Gwethelyn.
Yes, Auntie.
Gwethelyn?
Yes, Auntie, I'm going.
She went all right, like a rabbit at a greyhound race. Only I wasn't sure this rabbit could stay ahead of the dogs. But right then I had another problem, keeping up with Mrs. Margate. It wasn't the way she walked, it was her talk that winded me.
We'll go to the garden. My niece and my nephew are problems that weigh heavily on my heart, Mr. Regan. Oh, this way. Family collapsing and falling to ruin. Just 3 Margates left. Myself and the 2 children, Gwethelyn and Hillary. Only 52 years old with such responsibilities.
Hillary?
No, myself, of course. 52. But Hillary's the real problem. You follow me?
Right behind you.
What? Oh, yes, out this door. The garden. There. Do you see that pool by the date palm?
Uh-huh.
Fish. Carp, Mr. Regan. He concocts things. Hillary. Brews things. Poisons. One day he fed something he had brewed to Hilary F. Margate, Sr., the carp, and he turned bright green.
Hillary?
The carp. We found him next morning floating belly up, stark bright green. Hilary F. Margate, Sr., the carp. We name our fish after the dear departed members of our family.
Nice custom.
Yes. Hilary poisoned the carp when he was only 146 years old.
The carp?
Yes. Come along. Hilary was only a boy at the time. Such a problem, Mr. Regan. Oh, here, my vegetable garden. Have an onion, Mr. Regan. Delicious.
Yeah. Look, Mrs. Margate.
Eat the onion, Mr. Regan. George. George is my gardener.
I'm over here, Mrs. Margaret.
Oh, well, you can go out back and cut the weeds, George. Mr. Regan and I have some private matters to discuss.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent man, George. Excellent. And be sure you get them all, George. We must be rid of the weeds.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am.
Now we're alone, Mr. Regan. The onion, go on, eat it. As I was saying, Hilary, that boy, such a problem.
Yeah, as you were saying.
Yes. Good, aren't they?
Mrs. Margate, what is it you want me to do?
Do? Well, I want you to look after Hilary.
I was told you wanted protection.
Well, it's the same thing, isn't it?
No. Hillary needs a nursemaid. That's not our line.
No, see here, Mr. Regan. International Detective Bureau has already agreed to handle my case. Mr. Lyon himself accepted my check.
He'll accept anyone's check.
But he promised to help.
Well, then talk to him.
I'm talking to you. I'm explaining.
You're explaining nothing. You've given me a lot of double talk, and I have a feeling that's all you want to give me. Now, make sense.
All right. You're going to force me to say what I hoped never to say to anyone. Not anyone. My life is in danger.
I can believe that.
My tea. Yesterday, I noticed the odor of almonds.
I'm listening.
No, I didn't drink it naturally. Naturally. Hilary brewed that tea, Mr. Regan. My nephew.
Now you've said something. Where is he?
Ocean Park, the shooting gallery.
Shooting gallery?
Yes, he's strange, very strange. He brews things, collects guns, practices shooting. You won't like him.
Suppose I go talk to him.
Well, you'd better. As I've said, Mr. Regan, I don't wish to be murdered.
I headed the car down La Brea to Olympic and then out to the Ocean Park Pier. It was afternoon business, popcorn and sailor style. The shooting gallery had one customer. A kid in a corduroy sport coat with a face like a cantaloupe out of season. He was taking shots at the little swinging targets. You didn't need the family album to figure him for Hilary Margate. I walked over, but he didn't take the gun from his shoulder.
Leeks.
Come again?
Leeks. Scallions.
My name's Regan.
Allium ascalonicum, Mr. Regan. Onions. You've been eating them.
So?
This suggests you're the private detective hired by my aunt. Bullseye?
You read palms, too?
I fancy myself an amateur detective, Mr. Regan. I seldom miss.
I notice.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Regan, I'm interested in hiring you myself.
Oh, that's a switch.
I think there's going to be a murder.
Anybody I know?
Yes, my aunt.
Who plays the heavy?
The heavy?
Who's going to kill her?
I am.
Practicing?
I don't need practice, Mr. Regan.
Even experts get the chair.
Possibly.
All right, Junior, let's start making sense.
Very well, Mr. Regan. My aunt is a domineering autocrat. Actually, I should hate to kill her. But I feel I must. To protect myself, you understand.
From what?
You know, I dabble in poisons, Mr. Regan. I am empoisonné, as the French say. Poisoner. When I was 15...
I heard that one, yeah. Hilary F. Margate, Sr., the carp.
Oh, he died a horrible death.
My regrets. Now get to the point.
Ours is an evil household, Mr. Regan. The last of the Margates, a decaying race. My aunt, for example, in Whifflin.
I met her.
Then you understand that something must be done. This is an urgent matter, Mr. Regan. It would be wise to take my case.
One Margate for a client's too many.
Very well, Mr. Regan. But you want information. Perhaps I'll give it to you tomorrow. I'll phone you. As they say on the radio, you may save a life. Possibly your own.
It made a real funny joke the way he said it. Only I wasn't laughing. And neither was he. I got in my car and started for town to tell the Lion he'd been underpaid. All the way in, I kept getting a picture of a mechanical rabbit going around a track. I tried putting Grethelin's face on it, and Mrs. Margate's, then Hillary's. The others didn't fit. Grethelin's did. I was still thinking about it when I parked on Hill Street and got out to walk. And that's when I put another face on the rabbit, my own. The guy who fell in behind me and started following was no greyhound, but he had squeaky shoes that slowed down when I slowed down. We stayed together for a block, and when I turned left toward the office, he turned left. I wondered if he was an amateur. I found out when I sidestepped into an alley and pulled him in after me. All right, Buster, this is where you get off.
Hey, say, what the devil?
Come on, who hired you?
Let me go.
Give me some answers.
Talk. You want muscles, huh? Muscles? All right. I got him.
He had him all right, and he knew where to use him. He had a bald head, and he used that, too, right in the middle of my stomach. I shouldn't have bent double, but I did. It was a setup. The next blow sent me around the fender of a truck parked in the alley. I went to my knees. When I came up, it was too late. The bald head was gone. But someone else was there.
Mr. Reagan.
It was Gwethelyn Margate.
Mr. Reagan, you should be careful.
39 thumbs up. Let's see. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do. 38. Somebody took one away. Hit that thumbs up button, please. Get more than 39 thumbs up. Anyways, yeah, on bag 8. And we're going to start working on the top floor. So that's where we're at right now. And 2 more figures, so that's a total of 4. We got printed picture pieces, so that's always a good thing. So here we go. Yeah, continuing on with bag 8.
You all right?
He was following me.
No, Mr. Reagan, no, he wasn't. I was going to your office. He was following me.
She was ready to talk, but the fog in my head wouldn't let me listen. I got her around the corner into a bar. She waited until the waiter brought the drinks.
The 2 Bourbon Street, Mr. Regan. And if I may say so, this is a lovely tomato you're escorting into my humble palate.
You said so.
And may I say, Mr. Regan, I'm also partial to redheads. On account of my first love was a redhead. She played second flute in our orchestra.
Sure. Keep the change.
That was when I was with Stokowski. The Hollywood Bowl, how well I remember. Me and my fiddle. We made together beautiful music. Me and the fiddle, you understand, not the redhead. She gave me nothing but the cold shoulder on account she was hot for a guy that played bass.
Come on, you told me this story yesterday.
You don't wish to hear the story of my life, Mr. Regan? Well, it was the same way with Mr. Stokowski. The artist is lost in the world of today.
All right. Now we can talk.
I don't know, Mr. Regan.
Who was following you?
It doesn't matter. I'm used to it, Mr. Regan.
Who was the mug?
It doesn't matter, Mr. Regan. It's too late anymore. I thought...
You thought what?
I thought you'd help me, Mr. Regan. I was on my way to your office.
Why?
There's going to be trouble, Mr. Regan. Serious trouble.
What says so?
Everything. Hillary, my aunt, they're all acting so strangely. And those people who come to the house.
People? Who?
I don't know. But the man who was following me is one of them. Well, something strange is going on, Mr. Regan. Something terrible.
You still haven't told me anything.
Don't you see? It isn't anything I can tell you. It's a feeling. A terrible feeling. Everything's wrong.
I've got to have facts, lady.
I don't... Wait.
Quit beating
There's
around a
one thing.
bush.
Yeah?
The gardener, Mr. Hendricks.
George?
Yes. My aunt knows him, Mr. Regan. Better than just a gardener. Something else.
What?
George has been in prison. I know he's been in prison. I heard him say something once on the telephone.
To who?
I don't know. There's so much I don't know.
That makes 2 of us.
You don't believe me. You've got to believe me. Something terrible's going to happen.
Sure. Hillary's going to kill your aunt.
Hillary? Oh, no. That's not it at all. It's me they're going to kill, don't you see? They're going to kill me.
After that, I couldn't get anything out of her that made sense. I loaded her in a cab and then walked over to Pershing Square to feed the pigeons. Maybe something would come to me. Nothing did, except the pigeons. After a while, I went over to the Examiner morgue to look up George Hendricks. There was nothing, not a word. But the Lion has ways of finding those things out, so I went back to the office. The Lion had information, all right, but not the kind I expected.
Regan, where have you been? I've been calling every saloon in the city.
You got the wrong one.
I often wonder why I hired you.
Okay, Fatso, why the steam?
I'll tell you why. Because you were supposed to be on the Margate case, that's why.
What do you think I've been doing?
I know what you're going to be doing. You're going to get out to Margate Mansion right now and fast. They just found Hillary Margate in his room. He's been shot through the head.
This is CBS, and you're listening to The Story of the Little Man's Lament. Tonight's adventure with Jeff Reagan, investigator. Here's a special word for those of you who are interested in setting up a retirement fund. One that will permit you to have some of the good things of life before you're too old to enjoy them. Join the payroll savings plan where you work and invest in United States savings bonds. Under this plan, your firm sets aside whatever sum you name from each paycheck and uses the money to buy savings bonds for you. Buy United States bonds and keep them. And now, back to tonight's story of the Little Man's Lament and Jeff Reagan, investigator.
Nothing made sense. There were 3 Margates. The old lady, her nephew Hillary, and his sister, Gwethelyn. And all 3 of them wanted to hire me to stop a murder. Then the Lion tells me Hillary Margate has just been shot. Well, one thing was sure. With 3 people to work for, one of them was bound to turn up dead. I put the Lion to work looking up the gardener, George Hendricks. Then I hopped in the car and headed out to the Margate place off Franklin Avenue. By the time I got there, it was turning dark. Out front, a black and white Nash said police in big letters. But when the old lady opened the door, she acted as though she'd never heard of police.
Oh, Mr. Regan, please come in. I'm sorry you didn't get to meet him. Hillary, strange boy.
I met him.
You did? Oh, this way, Mr. Regan. Well, it's no matter. It was inevitable. Hillary's uncle, my husband, before he died, warned me something like this would happen. He was a young fool, Hillary.
How did it happen?
Happen? Oh, with a gun, of course. How else could one shoot oneself except with a gun? In here, Mr. Regan, we won't be bothered by them. Sometimes police can be so nosy. Do sit down. We shall have tea.
With or without almonds?
I know what you're thinking, Mr. Regan, but I'm sure it had nothing to do with it.
What did?
Just a moment, Mr. Regan. There's someone at our door. Well, Gwethelyn?
I was just coming to see you, Andy. I thought you'd want me to tell Mr. Regan about...
I'm just here to see Jeff.
Yes,
Speak
good
up,
idea.
lady.
Mr. Regan, I'll let Gwethelyn tell you. She was here at the time. Oh, she was a lovely woman. Gwethelyn's mother, my late sister. Well, go ahead, child. Go ahead.
I got home about 5.
Better sit down, child. No, not there. Here.
Yes, Auntie. Well, Mr. Regan, Hillary was in the gun room reading. I went in to talk to him, but he ordered me out of the room. He said he didn't want to be disturbed. He was concentrating.
Go on.
I left the room. A couple of minutes later, I heard a shot. When I went back, he was there. Hillary. On the floor, dead.
Then you called the police.
I told Auntie. She called them.
They've been so nice, the police. They promised not to disturb me any more than necessary. Wasn't that nice?
They're, in his room now?
With Hillary. Dear Hillary.
Well, he won't need me anymore. I think I'd better be going.
Oh, yes, of course. Gwethelyn, see Mr. Regan to the door like a good girl.
Yes, honey.
And come again sometime soon, Mr. Regan. We shall have tea together.
Thanks.
This way, Mr. Regan. Mr. Regan, I've got to talk to you this way quickly.
What's on your mind?
It's about Hillary. Something he did tonight.
Like what?
When he came home, before that, he had a book. A big book. He was reading it when it happened. Why would he read a book and then shoot himself?
You got me. What was the title?
I don't know. But when the police came, the book was gone.
Where did he buy it?
I don't know that either. But I'm sure it's important, Mr. Regan. I'm sure of it. You don't think it's important?
I don't know. I reach for answers. Sometimes they come up air.
I know something else, Mr. Regan. It's about George. George Hendricks, our gardener.
Yeah?
He disappeared this afternoon after it.
Go on.
Andy sent for him when the police arrived, but he wasn't in his room. The police were angry. They think he might have done it.
And you think so, too?
I'm not sure, Mr. Reagan. I'm not sure of anything now.
She turned and ran into the house and left me with a lot of night air and cool breeze. If Hendricks had taken a powder, the police would check that angle. That left me with a book. A very big book. I walked down Franklin toward my car. Up ahead, I saw a small man in a black suit locking up a shop door. Over his head, a sign said Franklin Avenue Bookshop. That did it. I caught him before he closed up.
I beg your pardon.
You know a Hillary Margate lives up the street?
Yes, I know him. Why?
Was he in today?
He's a regular customer.
Was he in? Yes or no?
Yes.
Did he buy a book?
No.
You sure?
Positive. He asked for a volume we didn't have.
What volume?
I don't remember the title because we didn't have it in stock. It was a textbook.
Textbook?
Yes, on horticulture. Plants.
Plants?
Does that mean something to you?
Yeah. It could explain why the Margate family has gone to seed. It was crazy, but it was beginning to untangle. I headed for my car up the street. Before I touched the starter, I found out I had company.
All right, Regan, drive.
The gun in my back told me he meant it. One look in the mirror told me he was George Hendricks. Well, you're calling him. Where to?
Your apartment. I want to talk. Have a chair, Regan. It's your house.
Thanks.
I talk. You sit and listen.
I can stand.
I say sit down.
It's your party, Hendricks.
There's been an accident at the Margate house.
I heard.
Hillary shot himself.
That right?
You think different?
Changed my mind.
I didn't kill him, Regan.
Who said you did?
I never could get used to confinement.
Oh. San Quentin?
Sandstone, Minnesota.
Tell me more.
Listen, Regan, the police don't like guys with a record.
What was your rap, Hendricks?
Checks, something like that, forgery.
So why tell me?
You're moving in my direction, Regan. I don't like it.
Is that why you ran?
There's something else.
Yeah?
The name. It isn't Hendricks. It's Margate.
What's that?
Freehold Quincy Margate.
No wonder you changed it.
There were several reasons.
Yeah, old South family.
Listen, Regan, you gotta believe me. I didn't kill Hillary. I didn't have anything to do with it.
You know a big guy, bald head with a stupid face?
Morley. He works at the Margate place.
Bald head with a stupid
Plunky.
face.
He works in the garden with me.
When he isn't tailing the girl.
Leave me out of that part of it.
Well, do I answer that?
Yes, but watch what you say.
Regan.
Regan, I expected to hear from you sooner. What's happened to you? Regan, are you there?
Yeah, just got here.
What's the matter? Someone with you?
You're a genius.
Well, I just found out about Hendricks.
You guessed it.
You mean he's there?
Go on.
Listen, that's not his real name, Regan. He's a Margate. Freehold Quincy Margate. Age 46, height 5'11", weight 180.
Get to the point.
Well, about that prison record, quite correct. It was 8 years ago. Charge?
Narcotics violation.
Oh, yes, but be careful. He'll hear you.
No, he won't. He just went out the door, fast. I had what I needed. I averaged 50 down Franklin and pulled up in front of the Margate place 10 minutes later. It was dark and it looked empty, like a beer can after a picnic. I found an open window and crawled in. It was the gun room. And that meant I didn't have to go much farther. But somebody changed my mind for me when the door suddenly opened and a hunk of orange lightning stabbed in my direction. I ducked and the chair next to me toppled over. I couldn't wait for the next one.
Let me go.
Drop it.
You're hurting my...
That's better. Now, some lights.
Mr. Regan, I thought you were one of them.
I'm not. That book Hillary was reading. I'm in a hurry, baby.
You already know, don't you, Mr. Regan? All right. I didn't see it closely. It had pictures of plants.
Like the ones in your backyard?
Yes. I didn't know what it meant until...
Until Hillary got it, and then you were too scared to talk. Why?
Mr. Regan, Hillary didn't poison my aunt's tea. They only said he did so they could kill me and then blame him for it. That way they'd be rid of both of us.
Yeah, but Hillary caught on too quick.
That's why they killed him, Mr. Regan. Oh, don't let them know I know.
It won't matter now, baby. I circled around the house in a hurry. Empty. Then I tried the garden. That's when I saw it. 50 yards behind the house. A strange light at first, then something red that began to grow. Then smoke and more smoke. I ran for the back of the garden and the
Nice
flames.
bed upstairs.
She saw me coming.
Stand back, Mr. Regan.
Maybe tomorrow, Mrs. Margate.
I warn you, Regan, stand back.
You hired me, remember?
Take one more step, Mr. Regan, and Morley will kill you.
You figured he'd be around? Put that gun down, Morty. The smoke's getting in your eyes.
No! Shoot him, Morley! Shoot him!
You're too late for that. I drove across the column of smoke and caught his arm as he tried to find me with that gun. I got to him first. I owed him something for what he'd given me in that alley, and I paid him back with interest. The old lady just stood there and glared at me, the fire reflecting in her eyes. It took me 10 minutes in my best sport coat to stop the blaze. But the price was cheap, because where the fire had been was a nice pile of Exhibit A. It looks just like an ordinary plant, but the police call it marijuana. Somebody spotted the smoke and called the fire department. The police were right behind them and loaded the last of the Margates into the wagon. And it was like Gweth said. She was scheduled to turn up poison, and I was supposed to testify that Hillary had done it. Only Hillary caught on too fast, and they gave him a bullet for his trouble. And after I finished up at headquarters, I went to the office and filled the lion in. He was disappointed.
And this fella the police picked up at the depot, this Hendricks, he wasn't the culprit we were looking for?
He was under the old lady's thumb like the rest of the family. She blackmailed him into growing this stuff. With his record, he couldn't afford to squawk.
He couldn't afford to squawk. How do you think I feel?
You got a check for $100, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did.
She did pay you, didn't she?
Well, you see, Jeffrey, that is, she gave me a check when I first went out there for $100.
You said that.
Well, I didn't think anything of it at the time, but, well, you see, her brother-in-law...
You mean...
Well, that is, Hendricks did have a prison record for narcotics violation, but, well, it seems upon examining the records more closely, there was an earlier sentence for,
Bad checks.
Yes. It seems to run in the family.
I don't get paid this week.
Go on. Quit me. Kick a man when he's down.
Oh, stop it.
You know I never withhold payment when I have it. Right now I don't have it. Maybe next week.
If you wait 2 weeks, it'll be Thanksgiving.
What's that mean?
You can have the end of the turkey I've been getting.
Jeffrey, you're not being kind. Remember my heart.
I'll try.
Oh, thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you. Now, here's 25 cents.
I can't remember the actor who plays him, Fatso, but he played a significant role in a lot of stuff. But Mel Blanc show, he was a really funny character on the Mel Blanc show. I can't quite place the name though.
For what?
Go over and pick up your laundry. I forgot to wait for it.
Jeff Regan, Investigator, is written by William Frug and William Fifield, directed by Sterling Tracy, and stars Frank Graham as Regan with Frank...
He said is witten, and then really quickly says written. Let's replay that. Hold on. I gotta listen to witten, written. He's witten, written.
Jeff Regan, Investigator, is written by William Frug and
Did you
William
hear it?
Fifield, directed by Sterling Tracy, and
Written.
stars Frank Graham as
He
Regan with
goofed
Frank
up.
Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon.
Written.
Original music is by Dick Arant.
Little Man's Lament. Yeah, no, that was a good one. It was written. Good way to recover, right? You can almost miss it if you don't listen quickly. But heard it so many times, you know that. Okay, so this is going to be the top floor. Written by a Wascoey Webbit. By a with a Wascoey Webbit. Yeah, it's almost there. We're just going to have the sides pretty soon. And then we're getting to the top floor here. I'm trying to look again. Is there a ladder that gets you up to the second floor? How do they get up to the second floor? I don't see it in the... in here, but oh well. There's got to be something. There's got to be a ladder. There's no steps, though. Usually, you would make the steps before you do the top floor. So that's... Oh, here it is. Duh. I'm the wrong way around. There's the steps leading up to it. Okay, I get it. And this ain't going to... Is this going to stay in there either? I mean, I don't get it. What's... Lego, come on. What's with this set? There's no way I just got a couple bad pieces. Anyways, let me continue. Let's play another one. I'm almost done. It's 8:24. You wascally wabbit, you. Every morning I watch the Looney Tunes as I'm eating my breakfast. On HBO Max, it's called Max. They have all the Looney Tunes episodes throughout the years, all of them, from the beginning to the end. So I just start from the very first episode, let it play every morning while I'm eating, and then I pause it for the next morning, pause it for the next morning, and keep going and keep going. So, I just love Looney Tunes. It's a good thing to watch during breakfast, right? Like in the 80s kids, you turn on the TV, you're eating breakfast and you watch cartoons. Just my routine in the morning. So there you go. But yeah, window in the back and map on the floor, cup on the floor. I guess it's cabin living, right? Good to see a tragic mammal. I like how Bugs carries... Okay, so let's play another episode before we stop this, because I want to finish this bag at least. I wanted to finish bag 9. Maybe I can do it. I still got about an hour, so I think I can do it. Let's continue. Great way to start a day. Oh yes. Okay, so another Jeff Reagan. Listen, during each stream, I like to do something just a little bit different. So I'll pick one show and take a few episodes. If you guys got some recommendations for tomorrow's stream that you'd like to hear, put it in the chat now, and I'll think about it. What I should do. Jeff Reagan, 500 Santas from Mexico. We'll do that. A common one, a popular one. 500 Santas from Mexico. Jeff Reagan. Investigator.
My name's Reagan. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, International Detective Bureau. They call me the Lion's Eye.
Wednesday at 9, and CBS brings you Jeff Reagan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Reagan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery and suspense and adventure in tonight's story of The 500 Santa Clauses from Mexico.
Like my boss, the Lion, said, it got you into the Christmas spirit early, all those Santa Clauses. But what it got Judd Brown into was the morgue. Judd Brown was the 6-foot-tall part-time Santa Claus from Jensen's department store. What got him into the morgue was one of those 6-inch-tall Santa Clauses from Mexico. Well, the thing teed off for me when I walked into the Lion's office. He was looking at somebody's picture. From the way he was leering, I could tell it wasn't Gorgeous George.
Oh, hello, Jeffrey. You're just in time to meet our new client, Lorna Lee Lovely.
Yeah?
Yes, here in this picture.
Lorna Lee Lovely.
Lovely. See what you mean.
Yes. She gave me to understand that wasn't a real name. Professional name, of course. She's a dancer.
I figured.
So naturally, she needs a professional name. Something suitable. And I must say her name is suitable, Jeffrey. Lovely. Lovely. Liquid eyes, rosy cheeks, beautiful. And that reminds me, Jeffrey, she works at the Rose Ballroom. She's a taxi dancer. She wants you to get right over there. It's something about finding her husband.
With those looks, she can't find her husband?
Yes, that's what I thought, too. But you see, it happens that he's dead.
He lets that stop him?
Well, she thinks he's dead anyhow. It's something about collecting the insurance, proof of death, that sort of thing.
I get it.
An opportunity to help out a poor girl in distress, Jeffrey. Get her the insurance money before the holiday. Christmas is less than 4 weeks away, you know.
Okay, Fatso. You check the insurance companies. And give me that photo. Maybe Christmas is going to come early this year. Lornily lovely was what you wanted to wake up and find under your Christmas tree, all right. Only not too close to the branches. It'd be a fire hazard. I drove across town and parked a couple of blocks away from the Rose Ballroom, walked back, and went in. I shoved through a covey of seagulls waiting around to get themselves danced with. That was when a wave of taboo came busting through.
Rumba, mister?
You Lornily lovely?
That's right.
Tickets go on my expense account.
Then you're Regan.
You picked it.
Rumba, Regan.
You hired me.
You don't look like the kind, Regan.
Kind?
To rumba so good, dream boy.
Huh? How do they look?
The kind? You know.
Yeah.
So with you, I get it both ways, dream boy.
You dance all right.
Thanks. Maybe I'd get a night off sometime.
Maybe.
You talk brief. I like that.
You gave the lion a retainer.
That wind tunnel with a cigar in the middle?
That's the lion.
He said he'd send you over.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
What do I do, lady, for the $50?
I'm looking for a husband.
For $50?
There's 100 more in it if you find him dead.
Dead?
Dead. Dance, Regan?
I used my ticket.
It's on the house.
No, thanks. I'll see you around.
Oh, wait a minute, Regan. I'm not hiring a gun. He's dead already.
Well, then we can talk.
Over here. Manager's office.
Won't he object?
He's not here. He hates the joint. This way. Better. Now we can have privacy.
That's what I thought. How do you know your husband's dead?
He's married to me, Regan, and he hasn't been home for 7 weeks. He's dead.
See what you mean.
And he was insured for $10,000.
So I prove he's dead, you collect the insurance.
They don't all dance like you, Regan. 10,000 clams, I kiss off the Rose Ballroom for the rest of my life.
Your husband's name?
Judd Brown.
Brown?
My real name's Lorna Brown.
Description?
He's 6 feet tall, dark hair. Scar on the right hand, he got fishing. Got a hook in his hand. He's nuts about sports, baseball, football.
If I find a corpse in the stand at the Rose Bowl game, I'll let you know. What else?
Nothing that'll help. Oh, yes, one thing. At Christmas, he sometimes works as a department store Santa Claus.
That's nice work.
When you can get it.
Where does he get it?
Around. Where they want him.
I'll check. One question, Mrs. Brown.
Yeah?
What if I turn your husband up alive?
Tail him, Regan. Find out where he lives and what he does. And phone me. Anytime, day or night. Live at the Sunrise Motel, Glendale Boulevard. Don't lose him, Regan.
From the way the green ice lit up in her eyes when she said that, it figured her husband wasn't so dead. It also figured he wouldn't be easy to find. I turned her back over to the Dime Struggle crowd and headed for my car. There was an alley led down behind some Chinese chop suey joints. It was a shortcut. My mistake was I turned into it because a guy turned right after me. I ducked around a corner. I waited. Pretty soon his steps came up. Then his shadow. And that was when I grabbed him.
Oh, what?
What do you think you're tailing?
Let go of me. Let go of
Can
me.
I get some answers?
No. Don't kill me. Let go.
Who's going to kill you? Hold
No.
Well, you're just a kid.
I wasn't doing anything.
You were tailing me.
Well, yes, I wasn't.
Why?
But,
Why?
Because I saw you with that girl.
Girl?
The taxi dancer in the Rose Ballroom. I watched you through the glass doors. I didn't dare go in.
Wait a minute. Let me see your right hand.
Why?
Let me see it.
What do you want with me?
Fishhook scar.
What?
6 feet tall, dark hair. You're Judd Brown.
Yes, what have I done?
Well, your wife says you're dead.
Wife?
Lorna Lee Brown, alias Lorna Lee Lovely.
I'm not married to her. I never saw her till this week.
Yeah, and you hate sports.
I haven't time for them. I'm studying to be a chiropodist.
Sure.
At Joshua Addison College of Pedal Care and Cure in Eagle Rock. I haven't time for anything but people's feet. And right now, being Santa Claus.
Give me that again.
Being Santa Claus.
The department store Santa Claus at Jensen's downtown store.
Well, that checks anyway.
Checks? Oh, look, I don't understand this. You aren't one of them, are you?
I'm Reagan, International Detective Bureau.
A detective? Oh, then maybe you can help me. I think they meant to kill me.
They?
Yes.
You better give it to me from the top.
Well, last Friday I went to work at Jensen's weekends.
As Santa Claus?
I needed the extra money.
Go on.
I worked Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday I studied at the college library on the tibiotarsal articulation in digitigrade animals.
Get to Monday.
Well, Monday, that was the first time I saw her following me.
Lonely Lovely?
Yes. And that same night when I was leaving the Metatarsal Foundation, somebody grabbed me in the dark.
Who?
I don't know, but I fought and I got loose. At first I thought it might just be a holdup.
Something changed your mind?
Yes. Tuesday somebody tried to break into my room at the boarding house, so I moved out Wednesday.
And hid out?
Yes, Mr. Regan. I moved into the New Canton Hotel, and I didn't come out till tonight.
Yeah, but you knew exactly where to find Lorna Lee Lovely.
Well, yes, I saw her picture in the Rose Ballroom advertisement in the Examiner. I thought that if I hung around and she didn't see me, I might find out why she was following. Mr. Regan, behind you, look out!
I turned too late and got one alongside of the head. I thought I was seeing light from the naked bulb at the end of the alley, but the light began to spread like an orange bruise. Then a fist the size of a pillow drifted up. I couldn't see anything else. I rested my chin on the pillow. I shouldn't have done that. When I opened my eyes, I was looking up at some writing on a plaster wall. It was upside down. When I got to my feet, the writing still looked upside down. That was because it was Chinese. I was in the same alley behind the chop suey joint, only Judd Brown wasn't around anymore. He was the guy who sapped me. I knew what answer I'd get when I went back to Rose Ballroom. Lorna Lee Lovely wasn't around either. She'd had a sick headache half an hour ago. Sure she had. I decided to waste a nickel on a phone call to the Sunrise Motel where she said she'd lived. That was when I got surprised. She wasn't in, but she did live there. That made it worth the drive out.
Help you, mister?
You work here?
Manner of speaking, I do. My place, I own it.
I'm looking for Lorna Lee Lovely.
Left.
Over that way?
Gone, I mean.
Yeah? How long?
Well, you ain't lucky. Maybe 3 minutes. Checked out.
Left no address?
Left no address.
She alone?
You ask questions, mister.
I like answers.
Maybe you're a cop.
Private style. Yeah. Here's my identity.
Huh? Never seen a private detective.
Sorry, I'm
except in
trying
the
to
movies.
figure out this stuff.
Well, what can I do you for?
Let's have a look where Lorna Lee Lovely lived.
Oh, that cottage over there. This way. Mind the grass, sir. Don't grow good out here in California. No rain. Never no rain. Just smog. Gets in your eyes. All that. Smog commissioners.
Yeah.
Look,
Anybody ever come over to see her, Thorne?
Oh, one guy. Walrus. Me and the old lady call him. Big guy. Black eyes. Walrus mustache. Dark skin. Maybe Mexican.
You know his right name?
Felipe, she called him.
Felipe, huh?
Yeah. Here's where she lived.
Kind of left in a hurry, didn't she?
Oh, the old lady ain't gonna like it. This is a mess.
All these paper cartons around?
Oh, them. Them's what them Santa Clauses come packed in.
Santa Clauses?
Christmas sidelines. She sold them to department stores. Walrus would bring them. The guy she called Flippy. Yeah. Hey, here's one of them right here. Down in these papers.
A busted Santa Claus. Somehow when I say it, I don't like the way it sounds. All of a sudden, I was awful anxious to visit Toyland at Jensen's department store. I did. It was Friday night, so they were open. But Judd Brown, part-time Santa Claus, hadn't showed up. But there were some other Santa Clauses there that sent me looking for a white carnation. Hey.
Yes, sir?
You the floor walker?
Yes, sir. May I assist you, sir?
What about these things?
Oh, yes, the little pottery Santa Clauses. You'd like one, sir, to brighten hearth and home for the coming Yule season?
Maybe. I saw one of them a little while ago. You know where they came from?
Why, yes, Mexico, La Paz in Lower California.
You got any broken ones?
Well, now, it's a very queer thing that you should ask that.
Why?
Because somebody else came here and asked exactly the same question.
Don't tell me. Tall, good looker, green eyes. About 30.
Why, yes. How could you know that?
It figures. Name?
Lorna Lee Lovely.
Well, I don't know about that. The Santa Clauses are imported by the La Paz Importing Company, small importers. We took 500 on consignment. She merely said she was a representative of the La Paz Company.
Sure.
Just a moment, sir. I don't know that I should discuss this with you.
Oh. Here's my identification. What was the connection between Judd Brown and these Santa Clauses from Mexico?
The broken Santa Claus.
Go on.
Well, last Friday, a week ago today, Brown noticed that one of these little Santa Claus sets was damaged. Naturally, Jensen's does not sell damaged.
Yeah, I'm missing 2 pieces. And I just went over this all. It's not in this bed. There's supposed to be 2 here. 2 of the 1x1s with a stud. And there's supposed to be these 2 here. That's 4. I have no idea where the other ones are. And this is perplexing me. I need 2 more. And they're not there. For this, right next to it. This is the part where... And it came from this bag. This is the only thing I've built. There are 3 here. Yeah, here. I won't worry about you. If you see me just fiddling around and stuff, it's just because I'm trying to backtrack and figure this out. So keep enjoying, and I will be right back too. You know, I've been sitting here for how many hours? I need a potty break. You know. Here we go.
It's good.
So you gave it to Judd Brown?
As a matter of fact, I did. Going through the proper channels, of course. He said he wanted to give it to his nephew for Christmas.
You gave the broken Santa Claus to Brown?
Yes.
Then Lorna Lee Lovely shows up.
On Monday.
And asks about the broken Santa Claus. You tell her you give it to Judd Brown.
Yes, that's what I did.
Yeah, it's an inside bet that the next question she asked was, how do I find Judd Brown?
Exactly. I didn't tell her. So she went to the personnel department after she left me and asked questions about Mr. Brown. Now, Brown has disappeared. Jensen's Toyland is without a Santa Claus. If there's anything you can do to help
I'll see what I can dig up. But dig up was too true. I got down to the street in front of Jensen's store, and the late editions of the papers had hit the stands. They had a big story, front page, colorful. A broken Santa Claus had been found on the railroad tracks near Union Station. Only this Santa Claus was real. Or used to be. You guessed it, Judd Brown. Well, I checked in at the International Detective Bureau office to fill my boss, the Lion, in on some angles. Like, for instance, a female of the blowtorch species named of Lorna Lee Lovely wants to find Judd Brown. So she makes up a phony story about him being her husband and hires me to do the trace job. But Brown finds me. Then some muscle finds us. He tags me out, and when I wake up, Brown's gone. The muscle's gone, and when I check the Rose Ballroom, Lorna Lee Lovely's gone. I took care of my $50 retainer. But the Lion doesn't like to lose a client in the middle of a case.
And you say Miss Lorna Lee Lovely checked out of the Sunrise Motel just before you got there?
Well, so Thorne said. He's the owner of the joint.
Oh, pity, Jeffrey. Our client.
Our client gave us a sour pitch.
So it would seem. Now, I checked the insurance companies as you suggested, Jeffrey. No Judd Brown insured with any of them.
He could use some insurance now.
So I've just been reading in the paper. Dead on the railroad tracks. The poor boy got the damaged pottery Santa Claus at the department store. Then, quite obviously, Lorna Lee Lovely and that man Felipe set out to hunt him down. But why, Jeffrey?
Maybe there's something in the Santa Claus.
You know that?
It figures.
Yes, I see. Smuggling, you mean, over the Mexican border?
Could be.
Of course. The man Felipe, a smuggler, perhaps. Marijuana, Jeffrey, in the Santa Claus.
Who knows? That's one of the things I'm going to find out. It figured that tracing the broken Santa Claus that got Judd Brown killed would give me my answers. So I decided to start at the beginning. I went to the New Canton Hotel where Brown had been hiding out. A Chinese kid with glasses the size of portholes was sitting behind the hotel desk.
You want something?
Judd Brown live here?
Why you want him?
Want to see him.
He not here. Who are you? Your name, please.
Never mind reaching in the drawer.
Oh, what?
You won't be needing that gun.
Why you want Judd Brown? He murdered.
Check. What do you know about it?
The gonse. The kuloy. Kusi.
Sure, like I figured myself. Anything else?
I know nothing. He come. He go. He dead.
Maybe I could take a look at his room.
Oh, no. Police say no.
They've been here already?
Oh, his room. Oh, sealed up by police. They take everything. Police station.
Everything?
Oh, yes. Clean up whole room.
Thanks. But that didn't turn out to be any good either. The Santa Claus wasn't in the stuff the cops picked up in Judd Brown's room. I phoned the Chinese desk clerk at the New Canton Hotel, descriptions of Lorna Lee Lovely and Felipe. Figured they might have beat the cops at the hotel and grabbed the Santa. But he'd been on duty since 6 p.m., and you had to pass him to get upstairs. And he'd never seen or heard of either one of them. That made the score at the end of the quarter 0-0. But when I dropped by the office half an hour later, the Lion's blood pressure had hit the gong and won the Cupid doll. And it looked like one side or the other was lining up to score a touchdown.
Jeffrey, here you are. I've been trying to locate you everywhere.
You lonesome?
Jeffrey, don't joke. Be serious. Something has happened.
Like what?
She's telephoned, Jeffrey. She's telephoned here.
You mean Lovely phoned?
10 minutes ago.
Well, what did she say? Where was she?
She wants to see you, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I didn't know what to do. Ought I to notify the police? Or since she's our client,
Okay, so what did you do?
Well, I did... Jeffrey, I did nothing.
It figures.
It was only 10 minutes ago.
Sure. Oh, where was she?
Lorna Lee Lovely?
Where was she?
Oh, yes, Echo Park, Jeffrey, on Glendale Boulevard, the little lake where the boats are. She said she'd be on the boat platform. She said if I could find you... Jeffrey, where are you going?
Echo Park Lake.
Need both hands to paddle, dream boy?
Maybe I do.
Maybe you don't. Dream boy, you do everything so good. Thanks, Reagan.
Why are we here, baby?
On the lake? Talk. Nobody can see us.
Like the law?
Sure, that's right. You want to talk business?
Got another dead husband you want a tail job on?
So I lied to you.
You killed Judd Brown?
Felipe. Tailed him and you to the alley past the Rose Ballroom. Got scared maybe Brown could identify him.
Figured it out.
Yeah.
Dream boy.
Yeah.
Who's got the Santa Claus?
That turns out to be the 6 feet under question.
Maybe you got it,
So that's why you want to talk business. I'm the next Judd Brown,
Oh, not you, dreamer. That'd be a waste. Now, you're too good to go. I was thinking partners. I got a lot.
Yeah. What have I got?
Regan, you got the Santa Claus.
Sorry, baby, not my line of work.
Change your line. You like big dough?
You seen a guy who doesn't?
Okay, bring me the Santa Claus.
Sorry, baby.
Sorry, Regan. It could have been nice.
Put that gun back in your purse.
Where's the Santa Claus, Regan? I want it real bad.
Sure. Those pearls would look good around your neck.
How'd you get that?
That there were pearls in the Santa Claus? You just told me.
You're a wise guy, Regan.
Thanks. So there are pearls in the Santa Claus. The Lion figured it was marijuana, but it was just one Santa Claus you were after, sister. But there wouldn't be enough marijuana and one to be worth the trouble. What comes from La Paz that's worth a lot of dough? Pearls, baby. I figured pearls.
Now, do you want to go partners? There were 12 Santa Clauses that had pearls in that shipment of 500. A match string worth $60,000, Regan. The broken Santa Clauses had the pearls. They weren't ever supposed to get into the store, but one got away.
And Judd Brown got it.
And now you've got it.
Maybe not.
Who else? Think fast, Regan. I'm not scared to shoot. Nobody'd hear the shot. Backfire from the traffic. That's what they'd think.
Sure they would.
I shove you over the side of the canoe. It's dark. Nobody sees that.
We're going back to the dock.
I'll shoot, Regan. You won't get me. I'm in too deep. I'll shoot.
That wouldn't get you your Santa Claus even if I had it.
I'll shoot, Regan.
Okay, shoot.
Regan, you stinking rat.
Okay, give me that gun.
No, you...
Give me it.
Oh, look out, the canoe's sinking. Look out! Oh, Regan! Regan, help! Help me! I'm drowning, Regan! I'm drowning!
What's the matter, baby?
Help me! I'm drowning!
In 4 feet of water? Put your feet on the bottom. You're not in as deep as you think you are.
You loud!
But you're in deep enough. Felipe's accomplice in the murder of Judd Brown. Come on, baby, you're going to jail to dry off. So I dropped Lorna Lee Lovely off at the nearest precinct station and went to my place and changed my clothes. I still had 2 things to turn up, Felipe and the toy Santa Claus with the pearls in its belly. It figured this way. If one thing can't have happened, but nothing else could have happened, then the thing that can't have happened must have happened. See what I mean? So I went to where the missing Santa Claus had to be. Hey, wake up.
Yeah, Ma. No,
Shouldn't
Ma.
sleep on the job, Pilgrim.
Oh, you're detective. You come back.
They work you long hours, don't they?
Oh, yes, long hours.
You've been on duty here at the desk since 6 p.m.
Oh, yes, true.
Nobody can go up to the rooms without walking past you.
No, cannot do it.
Like I figured. Okay, where's the Santa Claus?
Oh, no Santa Claus. Don't have it.
You got it. You took it out of Judd Brown's room before the cops got here.
Yeah, but broken. Santa Claus all broken. Nothing.
Yes, you saw Brown's picture in the paper and read he'd been murdered. So you went up to his room for a look around, but you saw the Santa Claus, figured Brown wouldn't be wanting it.
Santa Claus are broken. Nothing. I want for only small sister. You arrest me?
Nobody's going to arrest you, because you're right. It is broken. When you say it's nothing, nope, that doesn't figure. The Chinese desk clerk got me the Santa Claus he'd borrowed out of Judd Brown's room. The pearls were in it. They were nice. Sleek, fat, pure pearl white. Well, Lorna Lee Lovely was in the lockup, so that left just Felipe. I didn't know where Felipe was, but that didn't worry me. I told the Chinese desk clerk that if anybody came around asking questions, it was okay to say I had the Santa Claus. Then I bought a book and some sandwiches and beer and spent a nice, quiet weekend at home. I hadn't been out of my apartment when the Lion showed up Monday night.
Regan! I know you're in there, Regan. Open this door.
Okay.
Jeffrey, this is insufferable. Why haven't you come to the office? What have you been doing? Why haven't you answered your telephone?
Run along, Fatso. I want to be alone.
Jeffrey, our agency is working on a murder case. Felipe, callous, cold-hearted killer of that boy Judd Brown. And you, Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Staying home and catching up on my reading.
Then it's true. You've quit. Abandoned ship. Betrayed the flag.
And eaten 11 liverwurst sandwiches in 3 days.
Oh.
Now, beat it, will you? I'm expecting company.
Company? Jeffrey, what happened to the lights? They've gone out.
There's a fuse box down the hall. Looks like the company I've been expecting's come.
Jeffrey, it's not that Felipe.
Could be, Lion.
Then you found him.
Didn't have to. Figured if I had the Santa Claus, he'd find me.
So that's why you stayed home. Clever, very clever.
Hold it, Lion.
Who's that?
Stay still, Lion.
Who's there? Look out, Jeffrey!
I got him! There was a blacker shape in the flat blackness of the room. He shot twice at where he thought I was, but he was wild in the dark, and I closed on him. His gun went off again when I got his arm. Again. And then I had him around the shoulders, and we went down. This is for that sap you gave me in the alley, Buster. And this was one's on the house.
Jeffrey, that's enough.
Yeah. Hey, Lion, there's a flashlight on the table in front of the window. Get it, will you?
Certainly, Jeffrey.
And you.
Don't hit me again. Don't hit me again, Regan.
Now, let's take a look at this Felipe, Jeffrey. Aha!
Not Felipe, Lion. Thorne of the Sunrise Motel.
Have a glass, Jeffrey?
No, thanks.
You know, ever since I've had this mountain spring water dispenser put into the office, I've been feeling better and better. Oh, splendid for the health. Or perhaps I feel good because of the way we solved the Santa Claus case.
The way we solved it? Thanks, Fatso.
So that Sunrise Motel man Thorne was Lorna Lee Lovely's partner and the murderer of Judd Brown after all.
That's right. Felipe was just a name he made up. And then she followed his lead.
The non-existent suspect. The police, the gentlemen of the press, searching 3 days for an inhabitant of the kingdom of Macomacum.
Give me that again.
In the kingdom of Macomacum.
What does it mean?
I don't know, Jeffrey. I don't know. I believe I heard the expression somewhere.
Wind tunnel with a cigar in the middle.
Yeah, what's that mean?
I don't know, Fatso. Just an expression I heard somewhere.
Jeff Regan, Investigator, stars Frank Graham as Regan with...
Okay, there's another episode of Jeff Regan. Yeah, it's starting to come together. I had a little mistake. I put the little 1x1 studs at the bottom back here, and thankfully I was able to get it out easy. But yeah, the bedroom up, you know, bookshelf, pretty cool bed. Got some lights back here, lamps, little lamps with candles, picture bed. Looks pretty cool. And it's, you know, it's gonna go right along here like this. And then we build the A-frame roof. And then, I mean, we're almost there. We're getting there. And this does come apart because if you want, you could separate it and take these out, put the boats over there, kind of like in a little island type thing. But I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. When I give a city update, I will show that for sure. But the bedroom looks pretty good up there, up front. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So, I'm not sure whether to do another one or not. I got another half hour. I might as well. I'll keep going. Let me finish this off. Let me play one more episode of Jeff Reagan while I got one more. Some Enchanted Car Hop. And I think I should be able to do bag 9. And then tomorrow I should be able to finish this up. So here we are, Some Enchanted Car Hop. It's a pretty little cabin. Thank you, Chris W. Hey, AJ. Everybody else in the chat, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, please. CBS Radio Mystery Theater tonight, overnight. Some Enchanted Car Hop. Here we go.
My name's Reagan. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, International Detective Bureau. They call me the Lion's Eye.
Wednesday at 9, and CBS brings you Jeff Reagan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Reagan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery and suspense and adventure in tonight's story of Some Enchanted Car Hop.
It was just an ordinary drive-in hamburger joint on Vermont off Sunset, but they called it Hamburger Heaven. And just to carry out the idea, they'd hired 6 angels to wait on cars. 3 blondes, a redhead, and 2 brunettes. I was lucky. I drew the redhead. Only she didn't serve up what I ordered. All she brought me was trouble. The whole thing started when there were only 8 more shopping days until Christmas. I fought my way through the necktie and socks set, and by the time I reached the office, I was ready to start celebrating New Year's. But my boss, the Lion, had other ideas. When I walked in, all 280 pounds of him was up on an office stool. He was tacking a dried-up sprig of mistletoe over the door.
Jeffrey, my boy, come in. The festive season is at hand.
How's that again?
I said the festive season is at hand. I'm filled overflowing with the Yuletide spirit.
Yeah? Well, you better take those nails out of your teeth before you spring a leak.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I guess you're right, my boy. I got carried away.
Yeah, sure. You and Tiny Tim. We're expecting women clients?
Women clients? Oh, you mean the mistletoe? Well, Jeffrey, you never can tell when a sweet young thing might accidentally happen in.
Stop drooling, Fatso. You dropped out of a mistletoe set 50 pounds ago.
Well, maybe so, but I still believe in Santa Claus. Yeah. Now, where was I?
You were up on the stool with berries in your hair.
No, I mean about the new client. What have I told you so far?
That the festive season is at hand?
Huh? Oh, then I haven't told you about our new client. His name is Ward Hamilton, Jeffrey. He was in just a few minutes ago. Fine figure of a man. Well-dressed, distinguished, prosperous.
That explains the Christmas spirit. How much?
Jeffrey, the Christmas spirit cannot be measured in terms of money. This is the time of goodwill toward men of unselfish devotion.
Sure. How much unselfish devotion did he buy?
$50 worth. It's something about his niece or daughter or some friend or something.
What about them?
Well, it seems this girl's been receiving packages, flowers, candy, that sort of thing.
Well, what's so mysterious about that? Doesn't she know it's Christmas?
Well, for some reason or other, Ward Hamilton says she's worried about them. He'll tell you all about it when you see him. The address is on the desk. It's out on Iredell Road in North Hollywood.
So I find the Santa Claus that's been sending the packages.
Say, that's right. This case does fit right in with the season, doesn't it?
Sure. And Merry Christmas to you, too, Fatso. That started it. I hopped in my sleigh and headed my reindeer out over Cahuenga Pass. Iredell Road was twin rows of California bungalows with Christmas decorations strung out in front.
11 inches tall, so almost a foot tall, 11 inches tall by 17 inches long. So those are the dimensions. Undead Caesar, yeah.
Except one house. It was the address Lion had given me. Redwood front on the usual cream-colored stucco. White ranch-type fence, swimming pool in the backyard. No Christmas anywhere. Behind the fence, a big Dalmatian wagged his tail and grinned at me in a nice, friendly sort of way. Only he was growling when he did it. I circled wide and made the porch, but I didn't get as far as the doorbell.
What do you want?
Mr. Hamilton? I'm Reagan, International.
Reagan? Oh, yes, the detective. Come in, Mr. Reagan, come in.
He was big and gray-haired, the man of distinction. But what he had in his hand wasn't a glass. It was a whip, black, 10 feet long, with lead weights at the tip.
In here. I appreciate your coming right out, Mr. Reagan. I like to get prompt action.
Is that what you used that for?
Well, oh, the whip. No. No, just a hobby of mine. I practice hitting toy ducks floating in the swimming pool.
Well, nice way to get use out of your pool during the winter season.
Well, yes. Never mind that. Sit down, Mr. Reagan. I want to tell you about Mary.
That's the niece.
Niece? No. No relation. I'm a close friend of her family's. Her parents died several years ago. There was no one else, so I've tried to take over the reins and help the girl along. It hasn't been easy.
She isn't broken to harness.
It's a nice metaphor, but it doesn't fit. Not at all. Mary Winter is a strange girl. Very strange.
She's the shy, retiring type.
Ah, I see. The detective training. You're thinking ahead, assuming that she's not attractive to men. Nothing could be further from the truth. She's a lovely girl. Very lovely. Auburn hair, green eyes, fine, firm, youthful figure. Desirable is the word, Mr. Reagan. Desirable. You understand what I mean?
You make it pretty clear. So, that brings us to the anonymous packages.
For almost 6 weeks, someone has been sending Mary gifts, almost every day. Flowers, candy, novelties, that sort of thing. No name, no indication where they come from.
Mary has no idea either?
No.
It's funny that they put a spider way up in the rafters above the bed. Is that not creepy or what? So that, when you're sleeping there, it could fall down and play. Man, that's a big spider. Oh, yikes. Funny.
Oh, but she's reacted to them badly. They're making her nervous, upset. There's something I can't afford to have happen.
Come again?
Mr. Reagan, I can observe that there's little use in trying to keep anything back from you. My interest in the package matter is because of money.
Now the story begins to make sense.
Mary is strange. Perhaps I should have said peculiar. Her aversion to men is almost, well, I've been sending her to a Mr. Farthing, a human relations counselor.
A psychologist?
Something like that.
And it costs money?
Yes, it costs money. The more delay in cure, the more it costs. Frankly, Mr. Reagan, I'm tired of the obligation.
She work?
Yes. She works at one of those drive-in stands. Car hop.
Something wrong with that?
The place is called Hamburger Heaven, Mr. Reagan.
And you want me to find the guy who sends the packages so he'll marry her, or so you can get rid of him?
It works the same either way. You'll take the job, Mr. Reagan?
Sure. I'll find your guy. Maybe he'll look good under your Christmas tree. Ward Hamilton gave me the girl's address in Hollywood. It was a tired stucco 4-flat just off Kingsley, the home of Mary Winter, the girl who hated men. And then it was too easy. Standing out front near the curb was a little man in a trench coat. He carried an umbrella over his arm, and he paced up and down, watching the apartment. That was too good a bet to pass up. You going somewhere?
I beg your pardon?
Someone you know lives in there?
Why, that's none of your business, sir.
The name of the friend wouldn't be Mary Winter.
Get out of my way.
That's what I thought. Hold it.
Let go of my arm. Let go, I say.
Why are you watching Mary Winter's apartment?
I warned you. Let go. Let
Answer
go.
me.
Very well. I'll answer you.
The umbrella in his hand came down on my wrists, and he broke for the corner. By the time I turned, he was out of sight. On the ground, broken, was the little man's umbrella. I picked it up. Real break. Name engraved on the handle. In nice big gold letters, it said, Smith. I headed for Mary Winter's apartment.
Hey, Stephanie.
Nothing happened. Knocked again. The radio in the room told me somebody was in and liked their music loud. I tried the door, and it worked. I stuck my head in to look around. A redhead came in from another room, in slacks and halter. She saw me. She dived for the closet and came out wearing a coat. Then she snapped off the radio.
Get out of here!
Look, I tried knocking, but...
Get out before I call the police.
The name's Reagan. Ward Hamilton sent me.
You're lying. You're trying to trick me.
Phone him. He'll tell you.
What do you want?
About the presents you've been getting. Tell me.
I'm not sure. I can't trust you.
Well, look, for the last time, I'm supposed to find out who's sending them. Either you help or you don't. Now, take your choice.
All right. I'll listen. But don't you come a step closer.
I sat down. One corner of the room. Redhead, other corner. She was tall, graceful, beautiful. Everything a guy could want. Except for the look in her eyes. Scared, hunted. I waited for her to start it.
They began several weeks ago. The presents. I don't know who is sending them or why, but
Any card? Identification?
No, nothing.
You sure?
You think I'd accept gifts from a stranger?
Take it easy. Nobody said that. What did Farthing tell you?
Farthing?
This Human Relations Counselor you go to.
Oh, you know about that?
Yeah, I know about that. What did he say?
That I shouldn't worry. That I should find out.
That all?
Oh, you don't understand. You're like all of them. Get out of here.
One question. You know a little guy, about 30, carries an umbrella, wears a trench coat, shy?
No.
Are you sure? Think. A little guy.
No, I don't know him. I've never met him in my life. Get out!
I left the redhead sobbing softly to herself. Maybe a lot of flowers and candy would be kind of nice to a lot of people during Christmas, but not to Mary Winter. She was mixed up, inside and out. I headed back to my car, and then I was mixed up. It had looked easy until I got to my car. That's when I got complications. A big complication. Fat, 40, with a gun.
Get in, Shamus.
Now what?
Your choice, Shamus.
Like what?
The Winter Dame,
Your property?
Not my type.
Belong to the boss?
Question, Shamus,
Beat it, will you?
I'm not through with you.
Okay, get through.
Stay away from Mary Winter or you get trouble. Real bad trouble. Any questions now, Shamus?
Yeah. Who pays you?
You shouldn't have asked that question.
It looked like it was going to be a real holiday season. Brotherly love all over the place. The next stop was a man named Mr. Farthing. Only the sign on the door said John J. Farthing, Human Relations Counselor. It was a plush layout. Waiting room the size of a box top. Rich, solid, lined with deep green leather chairs, brass studs. On the wall, Van Gogh, Gauguin, that kind of stuff. The receptionist was out, and I took a crack at the thick mahogany door.
Yes, come in, please. What may I do for you, sir?
The name's Reagan, international detective.
Oh, sit down, Mr. Reagan. Now, is something troubling you?
Girl named Winter. Mary Winter.
Go on, Mr. Reagan.
She's a patient of yours?
Why do you ask?
A couple of questions about her.
I see.
Since you know her background, I thought you could fill me in on a few things. I said since...
I heard you, Mr. Reagan.
Well?
Perhaps, sir, you're aware of the nature of my work. Since I assume you're an intelligent man, I don't believe it's necessary to be much more explicit than that.
Try it for size.
Very well. Cigarette, Mr. Reagan?
Thanks.
There is in existence a code of ethics. Some practitioners call it the Hippocratic Oath. I'm not a doctor, as you know, yet I, too, Mr. Reagan, have a moral code.
I'm listening.
Nothing in my code, either morally, ethically, or in any other way, allows me to discuss the affairs of my patients. Is that clear?
Yeah. That's clear.
I'm sorry I can't assist you in whatever it is you're trying to do, Mr. Reagan. I'd like to help, but as you see, my hands are tied.
That makes two of us. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Mr. Farthing, gray suit, ivory cigarette holder, and gold cufflinks, stood up and shook hands solemnly. I left. He'd given me nothing. There was only one thing wrong with that. Mr. Farthing was right. I decided to check in with my boss, Anthony J. Lyon.
International Detective Agency, Anthony.
Save it for the customers, Fatso.
Jeffrey, where have you been?
Look, I just started this business 2 hours ago. What's eating you?
Just this. I have here in my office with me a young man. He has an interesting story, Jeffrey. It seems he's been sending gifts to one Mary Winter.
What?
That's correct, Regan, the man you're supposed to be looking for. Well, don't just stand there. Get over here at once. This young man can't wait all day for lazy detectives. And besides, he needs help.
He needs help.
Yeah, that's right, Jeffrey. The man you were supposed to find. His life's in danger.
This is CBS, and you're listening to Jeff Regan, investigator, in tonight's adventure, Some Enchanted Car Hop.
It started when a guy named Ward Hamilton hired the Lion and me to find out who was sending packages to a car hop named Mary Winter. I met a little guy with an umbrella and a big guy with a gun, and a human relations counselor who called himself Mr. Farthing. Then I phoned my boss, Anthony J. Lyon, and found the mysterious Santa Claus who'd been sending the girl gifts had walked right into our office. When I got there, I found the Lion sitting with his fingertips touching as he talked to the man across the desk from him. Like I guessed, it was the same guy I'd seen outside Mary Winter's apartment. The little guy, 30, trench coat, and nervous.
Jeffrey, come in. I want you to meet our new client, Mr. Smith. Mr. Ernest Smith. He's in trouble.
Well, if he isn't, he should be.
Jeffrey, what on earth do you mean?
I found your Mr. Smith outside the girl's apartment. He wasn't looking for frost on those windows.
No, Mr. Regan. That's...
What Mr. Smith is trying to say, Jeffrey, is that that's not true. Mr. Smith is in real trouble.
You sell it to him?
Jeffrey, how can you say such a thing? Mr. Smith feels his life is in danger, hence he has retained us to act in his behalf.
That's true, Mr. Regan. I'll admit I sent the gifts to Miss Winter. I didn't realize, I didn't know...
Get to the point.
Now I'm afraid. Since I saw you this afternoon, someone's following me.
Fat guy, big coat.
Yes. I came here for help. Someone doesn't like my sending the gifts.
Well, that's real bright. Well, you can start with Mary Winter.
She doesn't like them, Mr. Regan?
Then there's a guy named Hamilton.
She's married?
We call him the Guardian, family friend.
Oh.
Finish your story.
I like Miss Winter. I wanted to do something for her.
So you've been sending her anonymous presents for almost 6 weeks. Isn't that carrying the Christmas spirit too far?
Well, I like her. That's not abnormal, is it, Mr. Regan?
Yeah, of course not, Mr. Smith.
You keep out of this, Fatso.
Yeah, but Jeffrey, our client...
We got another client named Hamilton, remember? Besides, you haven't met the girl.
Neither have I.
What?
I've never met Mary Winter. Is that abnormal, Mr. Regan? Oh, dear. Dear, perhaps I'm sicker than Mr. Farthing told me.
Say that again?
Mr. Farthing, my human relations counselor, he takes care of me.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe this is going to add up. You've never met Mary Winter?
No.
No, but you've seen her. You've seen her in the waiting room of Farthing's office.
Why, Mr. Regan, how on earth did you guess? That's exactly it. She was reading a copy of Reader's Digest, and I was reading an old National Geographic. It was a fall
Never
day.
mind. Well, Lion, I think that wraps that up.
Jeffrey, what do you mean?
Mary Winter is afraid of unknown guy sending packages. Unknown guy turns out to be Smith. Take Smith to Mary, show her he's harmless. Collect our fee.
Yeah, but Jeffrey, what about Mr. Smith? What about the man who's following him?
Maybe you just imagined it. Come on, Smith. We're going to visit a redhead. The Lion didn't believe Smith imagined it any more than I did. But he only sputtered, and I loaded Smith into the car and headed out to Mary Winter's apartment. It looked simple. Then, like a glass of mild eggnog. What I didn't know was that somebody had slipped me a zombie. It was turning dark when we pulled up in front of the place. Smith stayed at my heels like a sheepdog. I knocked. This time she opened the door.
Oh, Mr.
Only thing I don't like when they put these plant pieces on these big, thick pieces. They look just too childish, okay? I know it's a Lego set, but adults collect them, and I don't know, it just looks a little too kiddie. Like the big pieces, the Duplo stuff.
Reagan, what are you doing here?
Brought you a Christmas present. Only this one's harmless.
Oh, no.
Take
no.
it easy, sweetheart. Just a guy named Smith. You might even like him.
No, please go away. Please go away.
Smith and I walked on in, and Mary backed into a chair in the far corner of the room. She and Smith looked at each other and didn't say anything, so I waited for the sparks to die out of her eyes. But they didn't. There was something else on her mind.
This is the man who sent the packages.
You guessed it. Smith, Mary Winter. Mary Winter, Smith.
Get him out of here!
Huh?
I said get him out of here before he kills me.
Oh, no.
Sit down. Now, just a minute, lady. He won't hurt anybody. Just take it easy, will you? Just take quiet.
That's what you're
Oh, no, I
Now,
wouldn't
listen,
hurt.
sweetheart. Wait a minute. It's Christmas. You've heard of that, I think, haven't you? People send presents to each other because it makes them feel good. Now, Smith sent you presents for the same reason.
He's going to kill me. You're like he is, trying to trap me.
Oh, that does it.
All right. Look at this.
What, a card?
It came in a box of flowers. It was delivered here to my apartment tonight.
Each man kills the thing he loves.
Well, Regan, try and explain that. Try and
Shut
prove
up. Did you send this, Smith?
No, Mr. Regan. I didn't send it. I sent flowers and candy and nice things.
Mr. Regan, at the window!
I left them with their mouths open and ran for the hall, and then outside. The girl may have had an overworked imagination, but her mind didn't knock over that garbage can. It was dark and peaceful and still outside. Me and a half moon, and nobody else. And then I saw him, thick-set, crouched, moving away from the window. I dove after him. We went down together as his hand came out of his pocket. A heavy gray .45 got itself in my direction, and I grabbed at the wrist behind him. The gun fell into the rose bush, but he got to his feet.
I warned you once, Shamus. Stay away from that girl.
Who said so?
Never mind. Now, get off that case now, before it's too late. It'll only mean go.
Were you going to say trouble? The big guy was 200 pounds of unconscious as I bent over him. A heavy camel hair coat was wrapped around him. The same guy I'd seen before. I unbuttoned the coat figuring some identification might help, only when it came open, I didn't need any more. He was wearing a tailored starched jacket. It wasn't the kind you see every day. It was white. That gave me the lead I needed, and I headed fast for my car. 10 minutes later, I stopped at a drugstore on my way out to the valley. I phoned the Lion and told him to check on Farthing. Then I headed the car out Cahuenga. The pass was crowded with home-from-work traffic. It took me 25 minutes to make Iredell Road and the home of Ward Hamilton. This time the Dalmatian was out for the night. But Ward Hamilton wasn't. He opened the door.
Well, Mr. Reagan, come in. You work late.
Our time clock's out of order.
Oh, perhaps you'd like one for Christmas.
No, thanks. Wouldn't fit in my sock.
Well, Mr. Reagan, I take it by this visit that you have good news for me.
Call it that.
You know who's been sending the girl those gifts?
A guy named Smith.
How's that again?
Smith, Ernest Smith. His birth certificate says.
I'm afraid I've never heard of him, Mr. Reagan.
He saw Mary in the waiting room of Farthing's office. Never met her. Shy little guy.
Well, now isn't that something? Well, I must say, Mr. Reagan, you did a remarkably fast job.
There's something else you ought to know, Hamilton. Chances are Farthing's a phony.
Mr. Farthing?
Looks like.
Why, it seems absurd.
Just thought I'd let you know. Want me to go on with the case?
What do you mean, Mr. Reagan?
I found your guy, Smith. That's what you hired me for. And when I get to Farthing, he'll sing like a prima donna.
Sing?
Talk.
Well, then keep going.
Okay, Hamilton. It's your money.
It's your life, Mr. Reagan. Be careful.
I made a fast phone call to the Lion on my way back into town, and that tied it up. Farthing was working late when I got there, only When he looked up and saw me, he wasn't happy.
What do you want?
Conversation. A lot of it.
Mr. Regan, I must ask why you've come to my office at this hour.
I told you, for conversation.
Then I may regard this whole thing as a sort of joke?
Maybe. Only the laughs you'll get wouldn't get by even on television.
I demand an explanation of your attitude.
Fair enough. Start with your name. Not Farthing, it's Farnham, Howard Farnham. You want more?
Where did you get that?
I had a phone conversation with my boss. He's got ways of getting things. Like your record. 5 arrest bunco, 1 arrest forgery, 1 arrest fraud.
No conviction.
You were lucky. Maybe you won't be this time.
You haven't got anything on me, Regan?
How about blackmail?
Not a chance.
Maybe not yet. Only you were getting set for a job. I believe the guy's name was Hamilton.
You can't prove it.
Well, it was your mug, the big guy in the white jacket. He meant business. Does he do your legwork?
Listen, Regan, you can't pin blackmail on me. Sure, maybe I had ideas, but I don't claim I'm a doctor. I don't hand out any pills. Just advice, Regan. That's all. Just advice.
That's too bad. You know, there are a lot of people that take phonies like you seriously, Farnham. A lot of people that could use advice. Real advice.
Mine's real. They say, should I marry him? And I say yes or no, depending...
On how much there is in it for you.
What do you want from me, Regan?
Who paid you to put the B on Mary Winter?
Never mind, Farthing. You won't have to answer that.
Come on in, Hamilton. I've been waiting for you.
You're bragging, Mr. Regan.
It made sense if I could get you to join Farthing and me. You might have something to say. You're showing up. Check my story.
What story?
Like this. A man named Hamilton's supposed to look out for a young redhead named Mary Winter. Only Hamilton takes one look at this number, and suddenly he's not fatherly anymore. He decides to move in for himself.
It's absurd.
Is it? You convinced the girl she couldn't trust any man in the world but you. Should have been the other way around. You're the one she couldn't trust. Isn't that right, Farthing?
Leave me out of this, Regan. I run a legitimate business.
Leave you out? Well, that wouldn't be fair. You were the guy Hamilton came to with money. He paid you to tell Mary Winter who's the man for her. Am I right, Farthing?
You're lying, Regan.
No, I'm not. Everything worked fine until along came a nice, shy little guy with an umbrella, Mr. Smith. Met Mary in Farthing's waiting room, starting sending her presents. You know, that must have really stopped you, Hamilton, trying to figure out who was cutting in on your Romeo act.
Regan, I've had enough out of you. I thought you were getting nosy.
You hired me to find the guy, and I did. End of story. Except if anybody should happen to tell Mary Winter what kind of a guy you really are, Hamilton, you might suddenly find yourself out of a lifetime career.
You'll never tell her, Regan. I'll see to that.
Forget one item. For a last touch, you send Mary a threatening note. Really put the pressure on. You're washed up, Hamilton.
This revolver says I'm not, Mr. Regan. Farthing, come over here, out of the way. We're going to take care of Mr. Regan.
Self-defense, not a chance with Farthing's record. Am I right, Farnham?
Do as I say, Farthing.
Go ahead, Farnham, go ahead. Murder will look good on your list.
I won't play ball, Hamilton. I told the girl what you wanted, but I'm not in this. It's your fight.
I can make it yours.
Don't try it.
I am as good with this gun, gentlemen, as I am with a whip.
Farnham, watch out. Farnham ducked as I hit Hamilton's wrist. The bullet buried itself in the desktop, and the gun hit the floor. I got the gun as Hamilton moved in fast. Only what he got for his trouble was the barrel across his head. Farnham crawled up to his chair, sat down, puffing. I let him catch his breath. When I waved the gun in his direction, he didn't mind phoning the police. The heavy guy in the white jacket showed up bright and early for work the next morning, and the cop greeted him with a pair of handcuffs. He got off with assault and battery, and Farnham, alias Farthing, made the blotter for a light charge. Hamilton wasn't that lucky. His read assault with intent to kill. It was noon when I got to the Lion's office. He was admiring the Christmas tree stuck in the corner. And from the sounds that came out of his mouth, it looked like his holiday fever was becoming serious.
Nowhere. Born is the king of... hello, Jeffrey.
They're looking for a replacement for Vaughn Monroe?
Jeffrey, how unkind. It's the season for song. Sunday is Christmas, my boy.
And today is payday.
So it is. Well, perhaps I could manage a small token, a sign of my gratitude.
Thanks.
Yeah, by the way, what about Mary Winter, the car hop? How is the girl, Jeffrey?
Oh, I left her with Smith last night when I went after Farthing's mug.
Jeffrey, you didn't. Alone together? And that girl hating all men, and that boy shy, backwards? Jeffrey, how could you? How cruel.
It's too late now, Lion. Maybe we'll read about it in the afternoon paper.
Double murder.
Double hamburger.
What did you say?
I drove by Mary's drive-in this morning. There was a car parked there.
Jeffrey, you mean...
Little guy behind the wheel. Trench coat, umbrella. He looked an awful lot like our boy Smith.
Then you talked to them?
For a minute.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Tell me, Jeffrey, tell me. What did Mary say?
She said, with or without onions? Merry Christmas, Lion.
Merry Christmas, Jeffrey.
Jeff Regan, Investigator, is written by William Frug and William Fifield, produced by Sterling Tracy, directed by Gordon T. Hughes, and stars Frank Graham as Regan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. Original music is by Dick Arant. Jeff Regan, Investigator, is heard each week at the same time over CBS. Bob Stevenson speaking and inviting you to be with us again next week at this same time for Jeff Regan, Investigator. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Okie dokie. I think just in time. Holy Moses. As the episode ended, I'm done with bag 9 and 10. So here we got it. It's all done. We just got to put the roof on. Looks pretty good. Lots of details. Fits in perfectly. I love the stovepipe exhaust right here on the outside. Tons of details. Pretty darn cool. So got pretty far. Exactly where I said I was going to go. Bag 9. So I've got 10. Bag 10 through. And we got a couple people here. They can start. You can't visit. Oh, you can't visit yet. You can stand on the front porch, but that's about it. Hey guys, what's going on? Anyways, enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care, Dino. See you, Red. Yeah, I'm ending, and I'm getting ready for the overnight stream. CBS Radio Mystery Theater. Cool Cab and Stephanie Press. Thank you, Zed the Emperor. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button on the way out. Leave a comment. I'm going to end in about 30 seconds here. But thank you guys for hanging out. Third stream and finishing this up tomorrow night. So I will see you guys tomorrow night for the rest of this build. And with that said, see you in the chat for the overnight.